Intro. Welcome to Bussin With The Boys. I was just talking to one of our fearless workerman leaders, a videographer, Jack McPherson, about his news segment. Shout out, no free shout out of the week. And I think we're just, it's a little too much language though, right, boys? We're just gonna go shout out of the week. Shout out of the week. And I think you guys are all gonna enjoy it. The boys are gonna take part. But before we get into that, we need to talk about something very important. And I had a little adversity before we got on the pod with I like it when my timer's up. And the timer wasn't up. And JP really let me down on that. But now Jack, taking the reins from JP, said, go to Google and put the thing in. So big shout out, no free shout outs to Jack. That's not part of the segment. But we are not going to have any adversity with this particular presenting sponsor of Bussin With The Boys. And that is the Chevy Silverado. All right. The most durable, reliable vehicle on the road. Chevy is as strong and dependable as the people that drive them. Chevy Silverado, modern and advanced with a ton of grit. A partner in getting things done, especially when it comes to the heart and soul of the pickup truck, which is the bed. With the Silverado, you get the most functional bed of any competitor. That's any competitor. You start listening to those slappies down the line in your mind, they can't touch it. Best in class standard cargo volume. The inner gate folds to a large step for easily getting in and out of the bed, right? Knees hurt a little bit, hips hurt a little bit, back hurts a little bit. You've had a tough day, but work still needs to get done. Easy in and out, my babies. Available industry first power up, down tailgate. Everyone's got the down. Everyone thinks they're dope for that, but they don't have the up. And then you got to waste your time. You get back in your driver's seat. You're like, damn, bro. And so you got to open the door back up, walk around, get to that tailgate, and you got to put it back up with the Chevy Silverado. You don't have those issues anymore. Available, I just said that, so I'm not going to say it again. Or the available multi-flex tailgate we've been telling you about with 6 convenient configurations. When I get 2C big words with me, I have a tough time with it. All this makes the best bed of the Silverado. All this makes the bed of the Silverado work harder and smarter. Silverado, it's strong, advanced, dependable, and hardworking. Now listen, boys, I think that went fantastic. I don't want to, thank you. I appreciate that. One for the boy. And you're wondering, where's Will? Where's Will Compton at? Where's the guy with the most beautiful teeth this side of the Mississippi? The man who is powering through possibly a year 10 in the NFL. A man that gives his heart and soul to this podcast every week. And there's only really one answer for that. It's because we're still on Baby Watch. Baby Watch. Here we go. Baby Watch. 2 more times. Baby Watch. One more. Baby Watch. That's right. Will Compton and Charles Compton, used to be called Bishop, is still waiting on their beautiful little girl, which he has not told me the name of yet, which is kind of frustrating. He has not had that child yet, and we're going down the road. I know what moms are thinking right now. Anyone who's had a child before, they know that last month, and I'm looking in the back to a bunch of guys that don't have kids, that last month, every week, another pound comes, and it's a little stressful. You're uncomfortable. You got that U-shaped pillow that maybe Will's stealing because I stole that from my wife, because that's a good snuggle buddy. And it's at this point, you're just so uncomfortable. You got nothing to do with it. It's so frustrating. Listen up. I'm sure, and I'm hoping to God, it's Monday right now. Let's hit the Wednesday. When Wednesday hits, hopefully that baby is born healthy, happy, mom safe. Will gets a good old-fashioned crying, and we can all celebrate with him on our social media platforms of our choosing. Speaking of social media, YouTube, you guys have absolutely murdered it. The Brandon Schaub YouTube video came out, and Will's got all the numbers all the time, and he bounces it back and forth with Barstool because he's a numbers guy. He writes stuff down. I'm not a big numbers guy, writing stuff down guy. But the YouTube, the numbers, we're in the 6 figures, boys.
Oh, yeah.
We're in the 6 figures right now, and that's a big deal. And it's all thanks to the viewers. We wouldn't be anything without you guys, right? We'd be a couple dipshits just sitting here talking about God knows what while no one listens to us. What you need to do to keep this train going into the stratosphere, the train is a bad one. Getting this rocket ship to shoot into the atmosphere is, I need you to go to YouTube, go to your audio, whichever one, whether it's Spotify, Apple. That's the best thing about us, baby. We're everywhere. We're absolutely everywhere. You need to go subscribe and then do a little secret, unsubscribe and resubscribe. And you doing that along with the comments, the engagement, following Bussin on Instagram, we have Facebook, correct? Facebook. We have a TikTok too. We got Twitter. All of those things you guys follow, engage. It just helps the numbers go up. It helps more eyes seeing it. It's a shameless ask is what it is. But I'm over here just a man having a prayer right now, hoping to God that you guys pick it up. Maybe it goes in your ear and it comes out your mouth and onto your fingertips, and you go ahead and do those things for us. We love you guys so much. It's unbelievable. Now we have a new little fun segment for you guys this week. Little cough. A new fun segment. It's called Shout Out of the Week. No free shout outs. Now the issue with Shout Out of the Week, no free shout outs, is every week's a new week. So there's going to be a different person every single time. All right. That person you shouted out last week, you may no longer want to shout out. And here's the thing about this thing, the bus, is if you have an opinion about something, bing, bang, boom, baby, you can go back on that thing 180, and I'm sure we'll get to that someday. You know your boy. I like to flip-flop sides, dude. Like I'm flapjacks. You know what I'm saying? I got them things a little crispy, and sometimes one's a little more cooked than the other. So let's start with shout out, no free shout out of the week. Shout out, no free shout outs of the week. Let's go with the boys. Bloss, please hit me with your shout out, no free shout out of the week.
So my shout out of the week this week, I don't know if you saw me tweet about it, was actually to George Kittle.
Oh, 49ers guy. Who would have thought?
Yeah, a little biased.
Yeah.
And the reason being is I've never seen anybody take so much time responding to like all his fans and wishing them a happy birthday. You could go on his Twitter and just scroll on all the people he replies to and wishes them a happy birthday. So my free shout out goes to George Kittle.
To George Kittle, everybody. George Kittle, an amazing human being, an absolute talent on the field, a great guy, and the people sign in for a reason, right? He's out there. He's only out there shaking hands, kissing babies in public, but he's doing the same thing on the social media, and I love that about you, Bloss. That's a good thing. Way to stick to your roots on that. JP, what do you got for us on the shout out? No free shout outs of the week.
Mine goes to not a person, but a country.
Oh, okay.
I would like to shout out Japan.
Japan.
One for the cuisine.
All right, gotta love it. That's
two,
fire.
They dropped the full audio video of Will Smith and Chris Rock.
Hey, shout out Japan.
So shout out Japan.
Shout out the country of Japan, man. Absolutely unreal. Got a little shaky with them back in the 30s and 40s. Am I right?
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that.
Now we're back, baby. We're back because you
boys.
got the whole video. A wild deal, the Will Smith thing. Chris Rock. We'll get to that in a little bit. Outstanding shout out, no free shout outs of the week. Jack, what do we got for your shout out of the week, my boy?
All right, mine's not a person nor a country, but an activity.
Oh, we're just going to hit them all today.
Yeah.
I love them.
I think that should be the thing, too, with this. It's not just specific to one aspect of life or a person, but mine is eating out alone. Going to restaurants by yourself.
That's a solid.
Last night, I went hit up my local spot, Nobles in East. Got some wings, got a couple beers, and just, enjoyed the silence with myself. And
by yourself.
It's just kind of one of those things you take it back and... it's a beautiful feeling. There's nothing else to describe it. So yeah, shouting out, no free shout outs, eating alone.
God, eating alone is something special too. I used to go back in the days at Benny's, no free shout outs, in Ann Arbor, a little breakfast on Saturday mornings, nursing that little hangover and have a little time to yourself, eating them grits, eating them potatoes, eating them eggs. The fire deal recharges the batteries. That's a great shout out, no free shout out of the week.
Yeah, you got to get right with yourself before you can get right with the world.
No question. Hey, I love that. Hey, shout out. Oh, that's a snapper? Snapper or clapper, baby. We're snapping and clapping for the Jack on that one. An ideas man. I like it. Garrett, what do you got for your shout out, no free shout out of the week?
All right, my free shout out is going to go to the PLL, the Premier Lacrosse League, for joining ESPN.
Oh!
Yeah, it's pretty big news. In 2001, the first, Bloss, tell me to scoot back.
Yeah, scoot back a little bit. Hey, that's all right. Hey,
okay.
The thing about Garrett, folks, the closer he gets, the more beautiful he is. Bloss wants him to get back a little bit. I like that.
All right, so shout out to the Premier Lacrosse League, because in 2001, the MLL was a thing, but nobody knew that there was professional lacrosse.
That's beautiful.
We've now joined ESPN. I say we, like I did it.
Hey, once a lacrosse, always a lacrosse, am I right?
Exactly.
Whoa, that's a stutter in the words, but go ahead.
But no, it's a big deal. All 47 games will be on ESPN. So tune into ESPN this spring and watch the best sport on 2 feet.
God, outstanding. Just a bunch of men with sticks and balls chasing each other around. An absolute jaw-dropping experience.
That's what we're about here.
Anytime you step onto the lacrosse field. It's unbelievable. The hacking, the chirping. It's basically hockey on your shoes.
Yeah, on grass.
On your grass, on your shoes. Yeah, it's the same thing, right? We're not grounding. We're not barefoot out there, but it's outstanding. Hey, shout out. No free shout outs. Lacrosse, everybody. Just the entire sport. You guys in the Northeast are absolutely loving that one right now. And obviously, I'm the last one on this bus. Moment of silence for Will not being able to do the first shout out of the week. He will be missed. However, my shout out came last night. And I know we're going to talk about it in a second. And I'm not picking sides here. I might pick sides towards the end of this thing because I'm a flip-floppy bastard like we talked about earlier. But a shout out to Chris Rock for absolutely taking the most disrespectful thing you can possibly get in your entire life, which is an open hand slap from another man. All of us here have been once in our life punched, pushed, or poked. And when you are any of those things, there's a fire that burns inside you. I don't care if you're beta, I don't care if you're alpha or somewhere in between. Every time you feel that feeling, it's like, I'm going to kill somebody right now. I want to absolutely murder this person. Will Smith definitely has taken a punching class or something like that. He had 2 feet strongly, sturdily on the ground. He wound up quick, but he came fast. That man in his 50s has the fast twitch of a cat. It was unreal. Chris takes this thing like an absolute movie scene, hits it, kinks back, and comes and he just goes, Will Smith slapped the shit out of me. Now, here's where the shout out actually comes in for me. The fact that my man ate it, blood's boiling right now, right? I don't know what temperature it boils at, but it's definitely at that Fahrenheit or Celsius. Will Smith walks away. He is rattled. He doesn't know where to go with himself. Then the man, Will Smith, says to him, keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth. Not once, but twice. He doubled down on that thing. And this man handled it. I won't talk about your wife anymore. Stuttered through the documentary, and then he rattled through the Netflix joke, which we all probably would have loved if there wasn't just an absolute assault case happening right in front of us. But ate it, was a professional, and got to the next frame. Got to the whole thing what he was there to do, which was present the documentaries. So shout out to Chris Rock. Absolute stud on eating them. And I feel like that's a decent pivot, boys. I want to get a couple reactions, and I want a little back and forth here if you could. What we just talked about. Whose side are we taking right now? I know Bloss in the back. He's thinking that's assault, brother. He's a cop. You know he'd have his ass pinned down, pepper sprayed in no time, right? Cuff him the bad way too. You know what I'm saying? Where you don't even lock that thing, so he jiggles around a little bit and gets a little tighter, which happened in the Fred Taylor podcast, which you will hear in just a moment. But Gary, you got the mic first. Let's hear what you think.
I'm not picking sides, but back to your form on Will Smith's little right.
Yep.
He did play Ali in a movie in 2001.
There it is. That had to be the reason why, right?
He is I Am Legend, so.
He is. And then, man, he's tactical in that movie as well, right? He's a blind guy in that movie, right? You got to have your senses.
I'm
I think
taking
he's blind.
sides.
Is I Am Legend? No, not I Am Legend. I'm sorry. I'm thinking Book of Eli, which was Denzel Washington.
Still a
That's on me,
phenomenal
boys.
movie.
Both great actors. Both great actors. And I'm not upset with my fault at all in that one. You know what I'm saying?
I'm taking sides, and I'm on Chris Rock.
Chris Rock.
It'd be different if he had laid a joke down that was like really disrespectful, but it was an alopecia joke. Like, you don't have hair. You have a condition. You can't grow hair. That's going to warrant you coming in and slapping a grown man on live TV. Like, it just seems a little soft for me. And like, we were kind of talking about it before here, but Will Smith's kind of been on this roller coaster the last 2 years.
Not just himself, but him with his wife as well.
Literally. And she's done nothing to respect him. I mean, she's, been cheating, doing whatever. And yeah, entanglements. And then all of a sudden, he's out here defending her honor. It just seemed a little shaky. So, but yeah, the way that Chris Rock handled himself just kind of took a moment, was like, that happened. And he's like, all right, well, we're going to move on. And true professional, cannot wait for his next stand-up to come out because it's going to be probably a heater. So
it's probably going to be heater. Yeah, he's the greatest night in television. Absolutely. He said that. I think that you got to give a shout out to Will Smith going on winning male actor of the year. And yeah, his 2 minute and 30-second speech was a little shaky. That plane was tough to land. I'm not sure he really did land it, but damn, he got up there, tears in the eyes. His emotions are all over the place. He knows he messed up a little bit by doing that, right? You want to defend honor. There's a lot of different ways to go about it. Probably shouldn't open hand smack a guy at all. But, when there's a live performance going on, one of the biggest nights in all of movies and entertainment, probably not the best time to do it. JP, what side are we on, baby?
I kind of I'm kind of on the side of maybe it was fake.
Oh,
I know.
I leaned up in the seat on that one.
I just think, like Jack was saying, so much stuff has happened with his wife that he's never come at somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And then this happens. And it's like, that room is full of the best actors in the world.
True.
So you roll up there, the Oscars ratings have been down. It's been a mess. And then now everyone's buzzing.
Oh, the boy's got a bit of a conspiracy theory going on right now. And got me scratching the back of my head thinking about that, dude. That's a big deal.
Japan's the only reason I think it might be real. Because the audio.
Okay. I think I could understand that, but him dropping a couple F-bombs in that thing too, it's got to be tough to think that was fake. It's got to be tough. The Propecia thing, or what is it? Propecia? Alopecia? Propecia is when you save the hair, right? I think there's a pill you can take. Will's been looking. He's been Googling the whole thing. He's been going, hey, you can't shoot the boy down one. I mean, what am I doing, dude? What am I doing right now? That's terrible. But I think, listen, she might be super insecure about it. I'll tell you what. What's her name? Jada? She's a gorgeous woman. Hair, no hair, wig, no wig. Beautiful woman. She has an outstanding bone structure. She's got a glow to her. I don't think she should be upset about the no hair. I think she looks phenomenal. Yeah, she used to be with Tupac. I did not know that. There you go, baby. You're making history 2 times in a row, right? And what, a 30-year difference? Way to stay on the map, honey. I love it to death. Bloss, I want 2 things from you, Bloss. I want to know whose side you're on as a pedestrian, and I want to know what your ass is doing if you are in badge and uniform in LA last night.
So shout out to my buddy Corey.
Corey.
Yeah, my
Ready
buddy
to elaborate?
Yeah. So he had a cool quote that I kind of took, and I like reworded. It was like, people will judge you for what you did, but not what happened to you that made you snap. I'm not saying that it was okay to handle that situation that way, but it's something to think about.
Oh,
People want to talk about, what exactly happened and stuff
like
that,
that.
but they don't
I
want
like
to talk
that.
about the underlining issues and what got him to that point.
Mm-hmm.
Something had to get him to that point to snap, knowing that the world is watching on that stage and knowing that his acting career could possibly never be the same.
Mm-hmm.
So the human side of me is thinking about that.
Yeah. And to that point, real quick, before you jump on the police part, when they showed him first, he did the G.I. Jane 2 joke, Chris Rock did. They pan over to Will Smith and Jada, and he's got the smiles on. He's got them pearly whites in the air, right? And he's smiling, laughing. That's a good chirp. He likes it because that's what we're doing, right? We roast people a little bit, whether it's the ESPYs, the Oscars. That's kind of the deal. Now, something must have happened in a transition where he looked at his wife. She was mad. Maybe she said, go do something. Now, I'm not putting words in his mouth, right? I'm not putting words in his mouth, but I understand. I understand that quote, and I like that on a Monday. That's nice. And for you listening, that's a Wednesday. But from a police officer standpoint, what do you got for me, babe?
Oh, that's the definition of assault right there.
Oh my God. So what are you doing? Are you gonna escalate the situation and go arrest him right there? Or are you gonna wait till it closes? Get a couple ushers to grab him.
Yeah, I mean, in that moment, you got to know where you're at. You got to know kind of what's going on. You're not going to go up on stage and you're not going to arrest him or do anything like that. Because first of all, he's got to want to prosecute. And knowing Chris Rock, he's probably not doing that.
I think he was. Yep, he came out and said he was not doing it. You're Team Chris for that.
Because he's like, he might have crossed the line. And probably understood that and took that smack to the mouth and still was like, nah, we're good,
Wow.
That's a man's man. So
that's a man's man, huh? Do you think at any other point they go settle in the back alley or something like that? Maybe them too? Because Will Smith's got a head and shoulders over that guy. You know what I'm saying? Usually the comedians are next pay-per-view fight. I like that. Rough and Rowdy. Maybe Jake Paul puts one of those things on. Hell, Dana White might even jump in, right? The UFC, get something done there. Send him over to Japan. Hit one of those little deals. You know what I'm saying? Get some sushi, carb up with the rice, get the protein with the fish, and have at it in a kickboxing tournament or whatever they do over there. No disrespect. Listen, I love the shout out, no free shout out of the week, boys. I think you all did a phenomenal job. Bloss, thank you for giving us a little insight as a police officer. We talked about the Chevy Silverado. Now it's time to talk about what we're about to get into on this podcast, and that's Fred Taylor. One more shout out for Fred Taylor. I think he was outstanding. Obviously, you guys know Fred Taylor from being, Will's words, not mine, the greatest Jacksonville Jaguar of all time. Now, this man during COVID or right before COVID decided to do a thing with I Am Athlete. When Pivot was on before him, Channing, and RC wasn't a part of I Am Athlete, but Channing was, and they kind of dove into that. If you guys want to listen to that podcast after you're done listening to this, you're more than welcome to, and tell us what you think. They're a part of I Am Athlete, and they broke up for whatever reason, your opinions, and decided to do a thing called the Pivot. Now, these boys are blowing up. Shout out to the boys. I know we're clapping a lot this episode, but there's a lot of love to give out on this beautiful Wednesday morning. Fred comes on, talks about his times in college, talks about him taking the bag from Georgia and dipping on him. Go Gators, giving them the chomp as he cruised out of there. Then We hit a little bit of what it was like in the NFL. I'll tell you right now, I think the man's a party animal. When he was out there, he had 2 of his best games he's ever had. One of his biggest regrets was maybe, I guess, in turn, drinking too much and cramping too much before a game. But that's on the NFL. You know what I'm saying? If you don't do IVs at halftime at that point, maybe it's you guys for being a little bit behind. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I should jump up a little, be a little more progressive on IV therapies and making sure the body's right. Also on Fred for not drinking as much. But the man could have had the single game record. Am I right for the rushing? If I'm getting that right or wrong. Talk about his favorite guest he'd like to have on, or his wish list guest he'd like to have on his podcast. And let me tell you right now, there's going to be some people listening on here that's going to have a couple opinions on that thing, right? Because it gets a little political. And we choose not to do that on Bussin' With The Boys. Why? Because some of you guys watching our demis, some of you guys watching our repubbies. And at the end of the day, we're all just lovies. Am I right? We're all just trying to lovies. That's all we're trying to do, boys and girls. And if I start picking sides with you, you might think different of me and vice versa. I'm not a big opinionated guy. I kind of am, but not in this sense. So if you guys listen up, I think you're gonna have a phenomenal time on this podcast. I think you're gonna have a roller coaster of emotions the entire time. And I hope you enjoyed this intro without our boy Will Compton. We're still on Baby Watch. Baby Watch. One more time. Baby Watch. That's it. We just want to do a little more chant for the boy because we love him that much. Big hugs, tiny kisses. Please enjoy Fred Taylor. All right, we have to break up this little deal right here for just a second because we got to pay the bills, honey. And you guys are the ones helping us pay the bills. So if you're mad at anybody, be mad at yourself. But before you get mad at yourself, do us a favor on the YouTube, on the Spotify, on the Apple, on the Twitter, and everything else. And go ahead and subscribe, unsubscribe, and then resubscribe to everything that we happen to be doing. Icon Pass. Your boy's never snowboarded in his life. I'll let you know that right now. I've always wanted to, but unfortunately with football, the way things work, I cannot wait to get on the slopes. But for those of you that do, it all starts now. Icon Pass is on sale for the 22-23 season. It's time to keep the stoke alive, seek a season of fun in the mountains, and do across 50 of the best ski destinations in the world. It said YEWWW. So I had to make sure that happened. Am I right? When you claim this multi-destination pass, you're dropping into a celebration of joy in the mountains. Whether it's the immediate spring access, hooting and hollering down your favorite runs next season, or connecting with a crew for an afternoon brew, there's always an adventure for how you ride. New pass options have been added into the mix. That is a beautiful thing. You're able to add the pass options in there, more bang for your buck. And I'm about to tell you about that right now because Icon Pass is that, I curse. I don't know if I can curse, but I'm going to do it anyway. That shit, my boys. Starting at only $249 adult, the Icon Pass Session 2-day and the Icon Pass Session 3-day offer a range of affordable entry points, furthering the flexibility and availability for riders of all means and styles to experience this family of unique worldwide destinations. Explore pass options at iconpass.com. Enjoy, everybody. That's a beautiful thing. And jump right back into that podcast because you know what you guys want to watch.
I fuck with Whistle Pig Bourbon.
Yeah, they're
I do a nice little old fashioned with that. So those are dope. Those are pretty good.
Is whiskey your go-to?
I drink everything.
Attaboy.
I don't want to sound like I'm a lush, but I drink every fucking thing.
Yeah, what's a lush?
You fucking drunk or wine or alcohol.
Oh, an alcoholic.
like he's ready for any of it.
Like
what do you got?
that
Doesn't
type of
matter.
shit. Yeah.
Whatever you
Like
have.
I can go to a party and I'm like, yo, like, what do you got to drink? What do you want to drink? Give me a Hennessy and Coke. Nah, we ain't got Hennessy. Or give me vodka and something. No, we ain't got vodka. Give me
Said
some
white
whiskey.
wine.
No, we got that. Give me some wine. No, we ain't got that. I'm gonna drink whatever.
What bar are you going to that doesn't sell those things? Let me get a Hennessy and Coke.
I mean,
Don't
but
got that.
it-
Okay, I
Like,
guess.
all right,
The thing
I'll-
about it.
Vodka and soda.
If
We
they
don't got
have
that.
Everclear,
If
you
they don't
taking
got a
it
vodka
down?
and soda,
Nah, hell
I'm
no.
out, dude.
But
If they
think
don't got
about it.
vodka and
Hey,
soda, dude,
Everclear. Hey, we just got Everclear. That's good. Let me get that.
I ain't fucking with
you
that.
get a chaser with that?
But
No,
think
that's all we
about it.
got.
If you go to these charity events,
Yeah,
it ain't top shelf all the time. It's just some stuff to get the people through, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And then a lot of times at the charity events, like, we don't have that. We don't have that. All right, give me, whatever the fuck you got, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Usually
Sometimes
probably
you gotta do what
Jack
you
or
gotta do.
something Like that.
I'll drink Jack
That's
Yeah,
that
that's
college
cool.
lifestyle. In college, you kind of just drink whatever.
because you ain't have no money.
Yeah, and you're drinking a beer at one point, then all of a sudden there's a big bowl of something,
Right,
and you're drinking that. It's a blue color.
right.
The next time you got
Jungle
vodka.
juice when you make up some jungle
Oh
juice.
my god, dude!
The hunch punch.
Yes, and you wake
Yeah.
up the next morning like we're good.
So my senior year, Jacquez Green and I, we was getting ready to go pro. So all of the other guys, they were there. Nobody had money, but we ended up going to South Carolina, get our advance from our agent. The guy we were signing went. We did like a 50,000 advance.
Damn.
Drove up to, we flew to Carolina, almost died. The plane was like, that shit was like that. We got there a day. We went to a spot, was BYOB. You go in there, you see ass and tits, but you had to bring your own drink.
About that.
Right. So we lined that all up. We went back to Gainesville, a lot of cash. You know, we were rich at that time. 50,000, we were good.
Hey, you see $50,000 now, you're kind of like, holy shit.
Right. So all of our boys, we ended up throwing a big, like this big old pool party. Drinks. We had everything. But then we end up getting 10 bottles of the Everclear and make the little spike punch, the hunch punch.
With the Hawaiian punch in it.
Hawaiian punch.
Oh.
Fire.
Pineapples, you know, just cutting fruit, throwing it in there. Just,
damn.
You can throw anything in there.
Mixologist,
Just throw it all in there, right? So the drunkest, best college party we ever had was that day. It was
got it in, dude.
Sounds like it was a phenomenal time. The drunkest I've ever been was not a phenomenal time.
No?
No, it was terrible.
You don't remember it then?
No, I remember parts. I remember bits and pieces. It was a big deal. This girl got mad at me, and then her boyfriend wanted to fight me, but he didn't want to fight me, and he was about from me to Jack, and I thought he was real up close, so I swung on him and spinned.
I thought
down
he was
all their
real
trash
close.
cans,
Swinging
threw up on their porch.
There was a few of them. There was a few of him.
Yeah. No, there was actually 3. And they're like, pop the trunk on this guy. And I'm like, oh, fuck. But you know, my buddy puts me in the car, and the next morning I wake up and I'm like, why are my pants all wet? Pissed the bed. And so I go back and I felt terrible. So I was like she woke up, the girl woke up in the morning, and I was like cleaning up where I threw up in their house. It was a house party. It wasn't like an individual one-on-one thing.
The guy you was going to fight and his girlfriend.
Yeah, it was his girlfriend's house party. And I threw up, and then they tried to kick me out. And then for whatever reason, I thought throwing up at a house party was totally fine at that point, and I shouldn't be kicked out. So I'm on the lawn. And
it always goes on the lawn. That's when you know it's bad.
I'm on the lawn. I'm like, let's fucking do it. It's like him and his 3 buddies. Turns out the dude's like a semi-professional boxer. Like, I'm about to get banned. Didn't even know about it. And I see this cat, and I put a haymaker on this dude. Well, the issue is he's 6 feet away. So I fucking... and then spin in a circle and knock out all their trash cans. It was a fucking deal, man.
Wow.
But I felt bad the next morning, hungover.
You know, it happens. It's college, man. College, anything is legal. Just about.
That sounds aggressive.
Right? Yeah, anything is legal, man.
That sounds like something I can't co-sign on.
Sounds like you got some good college stories.
Yeah, college was the shit, man. College was so fucking good, man. I remember going into college my freshman year. I was the fastest guy on the team.
Damn. Weird flex.
The fastest guy on the team. And I know, right? And we went out for Halloween.
Best holiday ever. Keep going. Sorry.
Yeah, so we went out for Halloween.
I did.
So our plans was to go out and just throw eggs at all the frat houses.
Yeah.
Just bum everybody with eggs. But instead of eggs, we were at the calf that day, and they have these little small baby pumpkins, the squash.
Yeah.
You know, like the little shit that's just sitting around.
Things.
Yeah.
The fun stuff.
Yeah.
So we just stole all of them.
Yeah.
Just loaded up the bags with that. We went and bought like 10 dozens of eggs.
Yeah.
And all of us went out, 10 of us went out. And we went to all the frat houses. We were just walking around campus, throwing eggs just for the fuck of it.
Are you guys hammered too?
We were done. Yeah.
Okay.
So we walked through a few alleys. Anybody that walked past us, we just got the eggs and point blank smash on the face.
Oh, you're a bully.
So
you were a bully.
we were just having fun.
That's fun.
Yeah, it was having fun.
The stories the boys in Michigan were telling a little bit.
Right.
Had a good night.
Yeah.
Right, just jive. So it was freshmen, just stupid guys from all different places, right?
Yeah.
Our freshman class. So we went out, and I guess someone called the campus police. So we had dispersed. We all running. I got with this one guy. He was like a sophomore. Later on, I found out that he was a guy that you don't want to hang with because he wasn't smart.
Yeah.
So we both we hid under a utility truck in the utility parking lot, like this parking lot. We got under the truck. Cops were on by. Cops were. So he was like, all right, it's cool. We can go away. The stadium was 100 yards that way.
Mm-hmm.
We got out. We start walking. All of a sudden, you see a car come. It's the cop. It's campus, University Police.
Yeah.
They pull out. We start running. I'm talking about I'm 20 yards away from the stadium. The fastest guy on the team. I go down the hill. He went some way. I went this way. A guy, freeze. And I stopped.
Yeah.
He put the fucking plastic cuffs on. He's like, you're the rookie.
Plastic cuffs.
Yeah, the little ties.
Yeah, the little
tie
they get
thing.
way too tight, cut off
He
the
put those
circulation.
cuffs on me, man. Threw me in the back seat. Then he looked at me. He was like, "You're the kid that was just on the Gainesville Sun and all the magazines. You're our #1 recruit, Taylor, right?" Yeah. It's like, fuck. Too bad I already called it in. Coach Spurrier was on the phone. All the guys looking down, the guys that got away, they're looking down from their dorm rooms in the stadium back in those times. And they're looking at me. I'm just sitting there like,
Yeah.
very next morning, 6 a.m., I'm snaking the swamp from the bottom to the 99th level.
Yeah.
The
Around.
nosebleeds.
3 times. Coach Spurrier did not play around with me. Long story short, I'm the fastest guy on the team. I'm the only guy that got.
How the fuck did that happen? That's wild.
Man.
You were probably
It sounds
tight
like
with the
you
boys,
you
too.
were the not smart one. You told me the sophomore
hey.
wasn't very smart.
Yeah, nah. I was following him
Yeah.
because I knew he knew where to go. I hadn't even learned the campus quite yet.
Yeah, it's really like
You
that.
know what I'm saying? So, and then back in those days, we had to come in like early fall or summer B or whatever. Now they can go in the spring and get a whole, 4, 5, 6 month head start. But back then, we can only go in July, August, or something like that.
Yeah, but whenever you
I
come into
wasn't
college.
used to the campus.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I followed him, and then he went left, split second decision. I went right, like, fuck that. I was in front of him. I didn't know which way to go. Boom, I got caught.
I feel like whenever you get to college, whether it's the winter time or the summertime, you still got that, 3-month period where you really don't know where shit is.
You don't know anything.
You don't know anything.
But college was the best, though.
Dude, college is the most fun. I would argue that high school football is the most fun because it's kind of like you're all on the same level, kind of doing your thing.
Right.
But college, you can't really beat it, especially if you have a good class you came in with. Like my class was like the same way. We all hung out together. We had a blast. We partied together. It was an awesome time.
I did something on every level, though, man. High school, I remember back in the day, it was Scholastic Sports. They used to get the top guys come down and film their games. And if you made Scholastic Sports, like you were, big stuff.
Yeah.
And they called my coach the day of the game and say they weren't going to make it. Broke my heart.
Yeah.
So I decided to go out and drink as many 40s as I can before the game. We were a 2A, 3A class, class.
You must have been a monster in high
school.
school.
Yeah, it had to be a monster.
Housing
Hey, listen,
40s.
this was
We
my
gotta score some tutties, boys.
Yeah.
Hold my beer.
my
Couple of
senior.
steel reserves.
Yeah.
Man, it was Old English, eight ball
Them
back in
fuckers
the
go
day.
hard
Yep.
now. That malt.
Yep. And then I'm in Florida, so we didn't have 40 ounce. We have just 32-ounce quarts, is what they call them.
Yeah.
So I had to drink 3 of them in order to be 240s, right?
Yeah.
It's a little bit
The
more than
math adds up.
240s, right? So I remember Coach said, "Hey, they canceled. Something happened with their travel arrangements. They're not going to come." I was like, "All right, fuck it. Can I curse on? I guess it's too late."
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
I was like, "All right, fuck it. Whatever. I'll see you guys when it's time to check in." I made it to the campus after 340s, got dressed, lined it up. I had 350 yards on like 15 carries, 5 touchdowns.
Oh my God.
Fort Pitt Central, I'll never forget the school, man. They were pretty dope. They were like 5A, we were 3A. Best game ever. I started to drink some more fucking 40s the next
No
week.
doubt.
Did you just keep that going the rest of the year?
Hell no. Hell fuck.
Nah,
no.
what is- do that?
Savage.
Nah, that was it. That was the one and done. But it was dope.
I feel like you have that kind of game on that kind of juice, dude. You got to keep that shit rolling.
You would think so, but yeah, nah, man. I was like, screw Scholastic Sports. This was a one and done. Then the playoffs was the next couple weeks. So I got a little bit more, tucked in and serious.
But you had a lot of offers coming out of college. Or coming out of high school, excuse me.
My first one was Tuskegee as a sophomore.
Sounds solid.
I played linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
I played linebacker my sophomore year.
Beast.
And I actually got recruited as a linebacker by the University of Miami.
Mm-hmm.
They 45, 50 minutes away from home, too close. So I declined to go to UM. Plus, they wanted me to be a linebacker. But running back was my thing. I didn't know it at the time. It was just naturally a running back. And everybody offered me except USC and
Fire school, by the way.
one other school. But USC was the one that stood out the most because
Yeah.
I wanted a letter from them because they had the same colors as my high school uniform.
Yeah.
That was a big thing for high school guys, at least back then for
Mhm.
me.
Yeah, probably still is.
Yeah, so I decided, what was the coach? John,
John Wooden.
Shit, I'm not that fucking. Oh, that's
I'm laughing, but I have no idea what that is.
Right? Basketball coach.
Yeah, basketball. I forget his name, but either case, was it Robinson or something? I don't know. But they didn't recruit me. I felt bad.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna go to Cali.
You just wanted them all.
I just wanted them. I just wanted all of the schools to, at least the school from every state, to recruit me.
Yeah.
But I committed to Georgia. They paid me a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
They ended up going on probation.
Hey, so I heard, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but I heard that Georgia left a duffel bag of $30,000.
I heard it was 50.
50,000.
I heard it was 50.
Either way, you can correct us, but they left you a duffel bag to sign with them over Florida. You ended up choosing Florida and kept the duffel bag.
It wasn't a duffel bag. Yeah,
amazing,
but it was a gang of cash, man, and
Hey, 30 or 50?
it was up there. It was.
You might have
closer
had
to
another
50.
zero.
Closer to 50?
It was closer to 50. And those was the days, man. It was the days I would just go over to this guy's place and say, "Hey, I'm in West Palm. I'm visiting my mom. Come by my place." 1,000, 15, $3,000 every time I went over, and I went over 3-4 times.
Yo, that's so savage, man.
But I didn't know any better, man. I took all of my guys with me, my best friends in college. It was 4 of us. And if you saw me, you saw them, and you saw all of us dressed alike. We had the same kicks. I was just blowing through that money like it was nothing, man. I took care of everybody.
You guys were more together than
Yeah, we were together.
I'm saying together.
Yeah, no, like busting on the bus or in the bus, right?
Bussin' in the boys.
Yeah.
Bussin' in the boys.
But my guys were my guys, man. I took care of them, you know.
Yeah.
We were all solid. And when I would go, he'd make sure I have something to take. He'd say, take care of your buddies, you know.
Mm-hmm. Damn, who is this man with some extra cash rolling like that?
You know, he's an amazing dude. You know, I don't even know if it's safe to even say his name now.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
All these years later.
Right.
But he does so much great stuff in the community outside of that. But the colleges knew that he was a guy that can take care of the players.
As long as you're good in the community, you can be a scumbag.
The Rosenhaus.
Yeah, exactly. Rosenhaus.
Right. The up and coming athletes, like he was so connected.
Was it Drew Rosenhaus?
No, it wasn't Drew.
Yeah. Did you sign with Drew coming out of college?
No, I did not.
Yeah.
I'll get into that.
It's mind blowing. We'll pivot right back, but it's mind blowing that kids nowadays even sign with him. You saw that with the pivot? I saw
that.
I
like that. That's dope.
But go ahead, keep going.
But actually, I can't say his name. It was Mr. Calloway.
Mr. Calloway.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Callahan Auto Parts?
No.
Calloway.
Oh. Calloway. I thought you were Callahan.
Right. But I know, right? I need that plug too. Shit, my game is garbage anyway. It doesn't matter what clubs I use. But Mr. Calloway, he was so amazing, man. But he took care of the kids in the community, right? And these colleges knew that he was the bridge to the players. So went under NCAA investigation for all that, everything. I remember the NCAA came to University of Florida and said, hey, we heard that you guys were taking money. Myself, my childhood best friend, Riedel Anthony, who played at UF, a few other guys. So I denied everything. Denied. At least that was my mindset. They said, before you continue to go on, we just want to show you this and this and this photos.
Of you taking money?
Of us over visiting Mr. Calloway.
Oh, my man.
What ended up happening?
Still deny.
Shit.
Bunch of dudes, same outfits. Oh, we were doing him favors.
I know, right?
How many times am I going to try that? I don't know.
So Georgia ended up going on probation for that during those times.
You didn't get any trouble.
I didn't get any trouble. Florida didn't get any trouble. The other schools that I visited didn't get any trouble. It was just Georgia that took the hit because they were paying the bucks. Actually, Michigan State paid me some big cash.
Michigan State paid you?
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
But I was never going there.
Yeah. Why would you?
Michigan State, probably about $20,000.
Yeah, that's...
Man, you were reeling it in.
in 1994.
I mean, $20,000 now as a high schooler, bro.
Hey, I had $1,700 in my pocket at one time in high school. I thought I was the fucking man.
Did you get that
from college?
You get that Pell Grant money?
You
think you made it, bro?
Pell Grant money. Did you guys used to gamble with it too?
No, so I was smart. I was smart. All the fellas would be in there gambling their Pell Grant and stuff away. And it's like, look at these idiots, dude. That you just got this money.
Unless you win.
Unless you win,
then it's all about that.
But dudes get so mad because you're in college. Like once you lose that money's gone. Like
that money's gone.
Dudes are ready to fight. Like they get tight. Like come on, let me win it back. Then they want to double and nothing, triple and nothing. They're playing other sports now. Like,
nah, UF, we had this one guy.
The league is.
This one guy got kicked out of school because they ended up getting him on drug charges. He was actually using his Pell Grant to buy weed and flip it.
Oh, damn.
He ended up being a dope dealer.
That really is a smart deal. I mean, unless you get caught like he did. So it's
Unless
obviously
you
not
get
a smart
caught, right?
deal. Yeah.
Certainly, unless you get caught. But those days it was something, man. I didn't realize I was that good.
Mm-hmm.
Even in the NFL, I didn't realize I was that good.
Yeah, you kind of you look back on it and you're like, damn.
Like, fuck, God gave me so much talent.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think I wasted it because at some point I sort of matched the hard work with, everything else that you needed to take it to another level. But early on, I just woke up, run a fucking 4.2, 4.3.
fuck.
Like, it was nothing.
After some 40s?
Oh, yeah. Easy.
I'm talking beer. I'm talking beer.
Oh, yeah.
After
That's what
oh,
I'm talking
shit.
about.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That was,
Oh, yeah.
No, he was on it.
Yeah, he was
Nah,
on it.
I think he was with you the whole
definitely,
time.
for
You're
sure.
legitimately argued like the most underrated player of all time. Like, would you put yourself in that category?
It's unfortunately, I guess I have to, but that's based on media standards, right?
Yeah.
If you line me up, if you go and talk to my homie who I'm gonna link up with a little bit later, Keith Bullock, one of your guys here, Titans.
Stud.
Bully. You talk to Bully, you talk to Ray Lewis, you talk to Ed Reed, you talk to Troy Polamalu, Derek Brooks, Warren Sapp, name anybody that was on defense. These coaches, talk to Coach Dungy, the coach that was here, talk to Jeff Fisher, talk to Coach Coughlin, Coach Belichick. All these coaches that had the game plan for me, they knew what I presented on the field. They knew I was a problem. I'm sure they wouldn't say I was underrated. But when you talk about the media,
The accolades that
yeah,
come
the
with it.
accolades
Yeah.
and the media and the timing of, from season to season and those different accolades that carried each year, I missed a few of them. But my numbers were still just as good as some of the guys that received those nods in front of me. It's just, I guess that's the nature of the markets in the NFL.
Do you think the reason why you were overlooked in those ways with the same numbers is because you were playing at a franchise that was so young?
One, yeah,
Good
that would be one for sure. And another thing is you
Hey,
have
I gotta
to
call time out just real quick. You got this hair, and I've been staring at it the whole time, and I just gotta be a boy, and I gotta get that thing out.
I've been, I had this fucking pivot. Thank you. What are we doing? This right here?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah. But either way, so one, being in the market market wasn't great. It was not a great market, not a good market. And then when you're not winning, when you're winning, it's easier to get those eyes on you. So my first 2 years we were winning. That was great. But then certain moments where I would be injured, right? And then we're losing. So you sort of get swept under the rug and people sort of forget about you. And then even other moments when I would go out there and bust my ass and do well, I just didn't put together back-to-back seasons doing that. So it was just the timing of that, the injuries, along with the markets. Then, no one ever really knew what I was capable of unless they were on the field, lining up against me every Sunday.
I think it's just crazy to look back on because you played 13 years. You have like 42 records for the organization of Jacksonville.
Yeah.
And you only had one Pro Bowl, one of which it was like an alternate, right?
Yeah, that was
Do you
the
like
only
look
one.
back? Does it like piss you? Did it piss you off at the time when you weren't getting the Pro Bowls? And when you look back, does it piss you off now?
Well, yeah, I gotta keep it 100 with you. I always will.
Get that.
Yeah, it was some shit, man. I definitely.
Honest.
I was trying to stay focused.
I know, right?
I was trying to stay focused.
But no, man, you bust, you pause. You go out there and you work hard.
Listen, we're past
There
that.
ain't no
We're
ball.
fucking way past that, dude.
You go out there and you give it your all, man. You land it all out, and these are the things you expect at the end of the year. You look at other guys, you weigh yourself against what they're doing, and at the end of the year, when you're not getting those calls or the votes, you're like, what's going on?
Right.
Now, I remember a few times where my numbers were better than veteran guys that were getting voted in. But then someone was like, hey, these guys have been before. They're going to get looked at first before the younger guys or the rookies get looked at, So I had to, I took that L that way. But then when you throw in the whole marketing, the market and the injuries, So I missed a few. But yeah, I was still pissed. I was pissed at myself more so because of the injuries. I couldn't stay on the field. So later on, I started figuring, like, why can't you stay healthy? I thought I was doing everything right. But, obviously hanging out 3 nights a week, going out, waking up to be at the stadium at 7, 8 o'clock, my output was still high. I was still performing on a high level. It's just that, over the stretch of a few weeks, my body started breaking down. So I couldn't sustain, any consistency. In the NFL, if you don't have consistency, you don't really have much. So with that, it's just the timing. Like I said, I always go back to the timing of things. And at the point where when they do decide to vote on the Pro Bowls, early December, my game always elevated from mid-November to late December, January. My numbers were a lot better than they were early in the season.
Yeah.
Ask me why, how, I don't know.
Yeah, that's really confusing stat because usually someone who takes care of their body usually has the best in the second half of the season. While everybody else is doing this,
right?
You're kind of doing this.
Right. But I started ascending more so towards the end of the season throughout my entire career. And it's one of the strangest things. So which also put me, I always wanted to, talk to the voters and the most of the media guys and say, hey, look, why do you vote for the Pro Bowl at the beginning of December? The season's not even over. Why can't it be as simple as taking the top 3 guys at their positions, whether it's, the running backs, receivers, statistically, and just let those guys be the guys? Wouldn't that be easier? Then you take the whole voting and the market, you take all of that out of the equation.
So what do you do with offensive linemen then?
That's tough.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, but for skill guys, it's easy to just lay it out. Or, you look at what the NFL's main agenda, they got to make money. They got to market the game. They got to market the players, right?
Right.
So when the game was in Hawaii, the best way to do it is you got to market the players. You want to take the players that, the fans are very familiar with, and you want to send those guys over because all the Hawaiian people that were on the island, they weren't filling up the stadium.
Yeah.
That was a game for, the people that live inland to visit the island so they can enjoy the game or enjoy the week-long festivities with, before the Pro Bowl came along.
Another tough thing about stats, the issue with that is like if you have like a receiver, and let's say he goes off 250, the next week he has 46.
Right.
He goes off for 150 the next week after that, and the next week, and then the next 2 weeks he has under 100. Like that's, if you have high numbers, you could have 6 unbelievable games.
Right.
And so the stats thing is kind of tough when you're saying like consistency is probably the most important thing to make the Pro Bowl.
I think over the stretch of a back then 16-game season, the numbers they don't lie, right?
Right.
I mean, even if what you said, if you have a 240 and a 50, that's still 300. Split that in half, that's 150 average. That's a dope ass average. I'm taking that every week as a back.
Yeah.
But
I think that's Derrick Henry's average.
He's a monster.
He's fucking out of control.
Yeah, he's ridiculous.
Yeah, he's fucking good.
Hoping he definitely gets back healthy and do his thing. Contract time, right?
He's got 2 more years left.
2 more years.
Yeah. Hopefully he can hit it big. But, that's a whole nother conversation too, man, because it's about leverage. They look at the age. They look at wear and tear. He's a big guy. They probably going to bet that he's not going to be able to last, so long. So I don't know if he can get the big check, but I'm hoping he does.
Yeah.
They're going to run him. They're going to
run him. And they're going to look at that, and they're going to use that as an argument. Unfortunately, they're going to use, look, you're taking 300 plus carries a game, even in this NFL.
Yeah.
Where it's a pass-happy league. They're going to say, nah.
We've talked about this in the podcast before.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
I think the NFL is more diving back. It was so pass-happy about, 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. And it's really the run game, the balance of offenses have really come into a thing where, the 49ers, the Falcons, us, Jacksonville, Baltimore runs it 52% of the time. A lot of these teams that are having success are really finding more of a balance.
Right.
Now you have outliers like the Chiefs and stuff like that. And I'm sure the Chargers are going to be baller that way.
Yep.
But the run game is really becoming a thing. And what I would argue that if I was Derek sitting here arguing, well, you run it so much. Take away last year which, by the way, I think he still finished top 10 in rushing, only playing 8
that's
games.
ridiculous.
Unbelievable. Yeah. Top 6. Yeah. Like he was number 1 for 3 weeks after, too. Every single year, he got stronger. He was like you were talking about. You were. He would get stronger. October would hit, and he'd be like, all right. And then November, you'd be like, oh, shit. And then December, it's like, you better watch the fuck out.
Correct.
Because he just takes care of his body, and he just keeps fucking going.
Right.
And if he has a year like he did 2 years ago when he hit 2,000 and was 17 games, it's not crazy to say. Like, let's just say he beats the record. As a franchise, you got to sit there and you got to, that old Peter Griffin thing. Sir, here's an empty check. Do whatever you want with it.
Isn't it crazy though? I mean, hopefully he can get back and show him that he's healthy and ready to go, and they can do right by him. Because I don't see any huge signings, that you guys have done, even in free agency. You haven't done what these other teams are doing. They're cutting the check. They're stroking these $100 million deals on 5 years, 70, 80 million guaranteed.
Right.
I haven't seen that with you guys.
Yeah. Harold got signed for an $86 million deal, which is great. I think he was very deserving, by the way. Let's go a quick talk.
Oh, big. That's big.
I don't think we were able to talk about
he's
that.
In-house. He's an in-house
cat.
Right.
John, I think someone showed this has a history of showing homegrown guys, and when they deliver, he pays them.
Got it.
Robert Woods. Now, a lot of people are upset because he tore his ACL in November. Right. And I'm not saying what he's going to do or not like that, because my beginning of the year was tough. And they were saying Bud Dupree wasn't healthy until the end of the year. Receivers are a lot different, right? Like OBJ looked phenomenal when he was coming off his ACL. So I think watching Robert Woods on film, the dude not only runs crispy routes and can get open and get some yak, but the dude blocks his ass off too.
Right.
And so I think that's a bigger deal than people think. Hooper, we signed, who's a 2-time Pro Bowler. He was with the Falcons for a little bit. And then with the Browns, I think he's pretty good. Our defense, if they just play the way they did last year, I mean, and the offense can get back to what it was 2 years ago. I'm really excited about this football season. A healthy Derrick Henry, and we're starting to put pieces. But I agree with you.
There's no like splash.
We're not making splash things. But a lot of times, John's never really done that. Like the biggest splash we've done was Julio last year. And before that
wasn't. That was in terms of names, though.
Yeah.
Patriots don't ever do splash signings either. He kind of
Julio
comes
was
from
more
that
of a
mold.
name than what from the pocket.
Yeah.
I don't think you open the checkbook, for Julio, but he's more of a big name, and I really thought he was going to come here and do some damage. I took him high in my fantasy.
Yeah.
What a mistake.
Julio along on Brown on the other side. You got Henry in the backfield. I'm like, fuck, they gonna get one-on-ones across the board.
Yeah.
You got to kill something, but. That's just the nature of the business. But I'm rooting for Derek. I like him to stay healthy, show that he's healthy, because he deserves a big day, big payday. But myself, it's just timing, man. Timing was one of those things, man, and it's unfortunate. But I was pissed that I didn't make a lot of Pro Bowls.
Right.
But I still kept my face, my head down, and I just want to compete.
Once again, we must stop this thing for another beautiful ad read. And this one actually excites me quite a bit because you remember the Super Bowl. We've all watched it. And a lot of part of the Super Bowl that we really enjoy is the commercials. Everyone loves it, whether it's the Doritos commercials, the Pepsi commercials, the Coke commercials, everything in between. But one commercial in general really kind of threw off all of society, right? Kind of was the new up and coming thing going in our life. And that was the Coinbase advertisement. It had that little QR code bouncing in the corner. And if you remember those old Mac and Dell computers back in the day, when the screensaver would come up, you were dying for that thing to hit the corner, and it didn't. But you thought every single time it was about to head to a corner, it was going to happen. If you're looking to try, okay, let's just try again, dude, because I just read this, and here we go. If you've been looking to level up your financial portfolio, it's always good to diversify. Why not think about cryptocurrency? Backed by the world's leading investors, Coinbase keeps your portfolio safe, secure, while adding crypto into the mix. Coinbase offers a trusted and easy-to-use platform to buy, sell, and spend cryptocurrency. The user experience is top of the line and includes multiple resources to keep the user up to date on the crypto world. Okay, quick pause. I am crushing this ad read right now. That was unbelievable. So if you guys like that, maybe do some cryptocurrency, right? Because we're all feeling a little bit lucky right now. They support the most popular digital currencies on the market and make them accessible to everyone. They offer portfolio management and protection, learning resources, and a mobile app so you can trade securely and monitor your crypto all in one place. Whether you're looking to diversify, just getting started, or searching for a better way to access the crypto market, start today with Coinbase. That was unreal. Oh, do I have another one? Oh, there's a call to action, and I don't think I did read this one, so I might get a little shaky. Let's land this thing. For a limited time, new users can get $10 in free Bitcoin when you sign up today at coinbase.com/bussin. Sign up at coinbase.com/bussin for $10 in free Bitcoin. This offer is a limited time only, so be sure to sign up today. That's coinbase.com/bussin. Now, before you jump onto the episode, I know we hit that once before, the thing before in the ad, but I need you to do one more time, right? Hit that subscribe, go tell a friend, right? We'll do the pay it forward. You tell one friend, you tell two friends, they tell two friends, they tell two friends, they tell two friends. And all of a sudden, we're ruling the world in subscribers. We're rating 5 stars left and right, whether it's Spotify, whether it's YouTube, whether it's Apple TV, whether it's Twitter, whether it's Facebook. Hey, you hit everything you want, and we'll get you where we want to go, baby, because we're trying to go to the moon with this thing. We love you guys so much. Please enjoy this Fred Taylor podcast, and I'll see you in a second for another ad.
Why do you think the running back market is? I feel like it's not seen as what it used to be, like in the
NFL
90s,
is trendy.
Right.
The NFL is trendy. I mean, they always say it's a copycat league. If one team say, all right, look, we can go with a 2-headed monster, get 2 guys for the price of 1 because of the injuries, yada, yada. Every team is going to look at that concept and they'll copy it. But every now and then you have guys that come along, the Adrian Petersons of the world.
Mm-hmm.
The Derrick Henrys, right?
Mm-hmm. The king.
These guys are going to force the issue. Hell, even Chris Johnson. Like these guys are going to beat every down backs, right? And what can you do about that?
Yeah.
But if you have a guy that's, borderline, I don't want to say mediocre, but just borderline.
Yeah.
Right. Then if we can get these guys to make them interchangeable, have this guy's a third down guy, have this guy third down pass specialist, this guy's first down, second down, short yardage guy, then you're putting 2 guys in there. So when you come back to the table, you have some leverage. That's instant leverage.
Right.
Because they're not out there playing 60+ snaps.
Mm-hmm.
So that's an argument for the guys in the front office. But they do that across the league. But every so often, you'll have that one special back, that Saquon Barkley, prior to the injury.
Doesn't have a nickname.
You know what I'm saying? So these guys come, McCaffrey, Christian, amazing back. I love it. Yeah, so I mean,
he struggled with injury, but he got paid.
Yeah, he got paid. But the injuries are still there, and he's not a big back. So they're gonna always question that. But going forward,
what's come out with him. I wonder what, like the last couple of years, he's been injured.
He's a small guy. It's a lot of wear and tear. They do a lot with him.
He does
Carolina
everything.
was doing
when you play the Panthers, that 22 circle.
No, yeah,
like 40 times
you
a
have
game.
to.
Legit.
You have those touches, and not just handoffs. But I mean, he's probably scripted at least 10+ pass plays in the passing games going into the game. That's not including the check downs off of play action.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but those are special talents that force the issue. So how can you argue, what they're deserving of? But then you have those teams that they just believe in what they believe in. The Patriots, running back by committee.
Yeah.
When I spent my time in there, if you got the hot hand, you stay in the game. Regardless if you're the designated starter for that week, if you're the hot hand against whatever ball club, you stay in the game.
Yeah.
That's just the way they run their outfit. But the NFL is just noted that running backs are expendable. The value isn't there like back in the day when the scores were, end of a ball game prior to a lot of the rule changes, the scores were 20-14 was probably considered a freaking blowout, or 20-10 was considered a blowout. Nowadays, every team is putting up 30, 40 points because of the rules changes, right?
I've been a part of some bad ones.
Right, so back then, man, we said we're going to run the ball. We need to run the ball 40 times. One back can get 30 carries, 25+. And that was just game. And that's when they were paying guys. But now it's just, the rule changes, everything else. This is where we are.
I think the money, in a lot of ways, the money is going up.
The money is
going through the roof. But not for running backs.
It was like there's a few years where
it's better for sure, but that's inflation. That's the cap getting higher. That's
right.
Shit rolls downhill, right? The quarterbacks are signing
TV deals, the whole thing.
Deals, right. And so,
by the way, that was a monster deal, and you said that before, that you're like, needs to be a top quarterback, like Deshaun Watson signed that fully guaranteed 230.
Yeah.
It's like a good domino to fall for like,
Everybody.
players
Guys
now.
to start doing that.
Right.
To do the,
For everybody,
the
man.
guarantee.
That deal, what was it, 5 years, 230?
Yeah, that's crazy. Hey, the Browns are dangerous.
Insane.
Yeah. The whole AFC really is like
the
that
AFC
fucking
is
spot
getting
right now.
nasty, bro.
It's getting crazy out there.
I mean, but it's all cyclical and it's just a revolving door,
Cyclical's
man.
a big word. What does cyclical mean?
It's just a revolving door.
Okay, gotcha.
Just
All right.
goes
Hey,
around.
Hey, you put my man Fred on spice. Oh, fuck. How do I explain
Yeah.
that?
It's just
It
a
just
revolving
goes
door.
round and round and round and round and round and
Yeah.
round. But yeah, I know the NFC they'll have their moments. The AFC, I know when I played, the AFC was hot shit before I got in the league. It was the NFC.
Yeah.
Now it's other than the Chiefs,
Mhm.
the NFC, they have some great teams, but I think it's a lot of balance in the NFL right now. But that money is ridiculous, man. But it's the TV deals, the outlets, all the different avenues that they can show the games, get, ad and sponsorship revenues in. And these players, man, they deserve it though.
Yeah.
But I think it should be bigger guarantees for everybody across the board.
Yeah. This has got to be the craziest free agency. I don't know if you've ever seen, but by far I've ever seen in my life.
It is.
I mean, you're
It is
sitting there
nuts
watching
out
people
there,
get
bro.
cut and traded left and right. I'm over there.
Right.
Like that little gif of the black kid doing this thing. Like kind of just like, what's going to happen to your boy right now?
Right.
That's
Or
just
like
rolling.
that with the old back in the day.
What's
That's
the
crazy.
deal? But yeah, look, like in all of these, I mean, Drew Lock, no offense, the Seattle Falcons, Marcus
Devontae
Mariota.
Adams to the
But
Raiders.
most of these big deals are AFC.
The-
I mean, the fact that
And
you got,
what's
the fact
crazy,
you got Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa on rushing both sides.
Max
crazy.
Crosby, Chandler Jones.
Absolutely. Tyreek Hill to the
And then
Dolphins with
they
Waddle.
just got Mr. INT Jackson, cornerback over in JC Jackson
That's
over in
right.
the Chargers. So the Chargers I think everybody's looking at what the Rams did,
Mm-hmm.
and their motto,
Going all
their new
in right now,
motto,
trying to go
fuck
all
those
in.
picks.
Yeah.
Copycat league.
It's a
And it really
copycat
is.
league again,
I mean,
right?
the Dolphins have turned that Larry Tunsil deal into, 5 years later, they're
Right.
still just scooping up picks and now they're sending them off.
Scooping up guys, man, and you have to take those picks. You don't trade a guy to sit on those picks and not do anything with them, right?
Yeah.
You have to make a move, and now's the time for a lot of those teams. You have, Jacksonville, for example. I'm looking at what they traded Jalen Ramsey for.
Mm-hmm.
2 first rounders. I think it was like a third rounder in there and some other stuff. And the Rams have gotten the best of that deal because they went on and they won a ring.
Yeah.
This past year. Jacksonville has gone backwards.
Oh, Jacksonville has the
guys.
first pick.
Garbage.
And they
bro.
have
no
yeah,
disrespect,
yeah.
but garbage.
No, back-to-back years.
Yeah.
And I can't argue that. I mean, I think the fans would. I think they'll give me a pass if I agree with you and say the team's been garbage.
Well, because you're the greatest Jacksonville Jaguar of all time.
But you have to be realistic. So having back-to-back first picks, back-to-back years, I think that equates to being garbage.
To argue
is what it is.
argue both your points right there. Tennessee Titans 2014 had the first overall pick, 2015 had the second overall pick. And so
But
and
look
we've
at
gotten so much
what
better.
the Titans have done.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Just in the last 3
able
years.
to build off of it, able to
Right.
build and build and build and build. And so, that's the thing. Everybody, like Jacksonville, probably won't win a Super Bowl this year. I don't know. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? But they're not crazy to say they're not 2 years away. They could do something. They have a great quarterback there.
I can't say it's not.
They have a running back who's durable.
It's
They
not
got guys
crazy.
that can rush the passer.
Yeah.
Right. And I think they need to add to that, obviously, but it isn't
yeah.
crazy at all.
Mhm.
You look at where the Bills were 3 years ago.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You look at where
The
Bills,
Bengals,
by the way.
The
The
Bengals.
Bengals.
shit.
Because if Trevor
That's the
like
perfect
starts,
example.
Wow.
of
if
the
Trevor
Bengals.
starts
The
ascending,
perfect
The
example.
Bengals.
you got those
Yes.
guys, you got those elite quarterbacks on their rookie deal, and you can
Right.
start saying, fuck those picks, trade them away, get
Right.
vets,
Mhm.
spend money, go on all this, put it all around them, because the Bengals are a perfect example of that.
Look,
bro.
if I understand this risk reward, right? But if I'm investing my hard-earned money,
Mhm.
I want to make sure my money's in companies like Apple, Amazon,
Mhm.
I don't know,
Walmart's world dominating stocks.
Walmart. All
Recession-proof
those
stocks.
companies
Yeah.
that you understand what they're going to give you, right?
Yeah.
You'll have a few fluctuations, but you know what they're going to give you in the long run, opposed to potential
Right.
startups, right? These
Mhm.
these unicorn companies that don't always hit the mark.
Mhm.
Same thing with NFL when they go out and they sign these players. They're saying, "All right, I can get this rookie. I want this first round pick. That's potential."
Yeah.
I equate that to a startup. The
Yep.
potential is there. Will it be successful? Who knows?
I
Give me a guy who's proven. I want you. I want to get you in free agency because I know what the fuck you're gonna do.
Right.
You know, I don't want Billy Smo from Ole Miss.
A hell of a name.
Yeah, that fucker. I don't want him to say, well, I gotta wait, 3 years before I can really see his true potential. Otherwise, I'm gonna cut him because all those contracts are based on the first 3 years. The other shit doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So and guys tend to grow later or they develop later. But if you want to win now, you look at what's on the free agent market, you take those shots. Yeah, you can build through the draft in the second, third, fourth, fifth round, 6 rounds. Those guys are telling it. They're the best players on the fucking planet. First rounders don't always mean you're going to be great.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of these guys are just hype. You get a few analysts to say, this Billy Schmo, what was his name?
Billy Schmo.
Right. Billy Schmo is great.
Sounds like a stud.
Billy Schmo might be garbage as hell.
Might
at
be.
the very end
Look
of the
like
day.
Tarzan, play
Guys
like
out
Jane.
there. Right.
How many guys
Right,
you
that's
seen like
the
that
end.
in college, though?
It happens.
God.
Man, it happens.
No question.
These guys, it happens a lot. The Chargers, back in 98, my draft, they took Ryan Leaf after Peyton Manning. What happened?
Yeah,
Tough
that was-
fucking
Set
pick
them
there.
back, I don't know how many years, but
Right.
it was awful, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think that these teams, you want to win, always been a moment. If I were a GM, I say, let's win now.
And it's not even free agency.
I don't
It's,
care
Well,
about
yeah, fuck those picks. Get them out there and
Look,
get some real
I'll
players.
look at the salary cap. We'll figure it out later.
Yeah.
Let's go now.
Well,
That's
we
why
all-
we're in the business.
I think
Yeah.
we all know at this point that the salary cap doesn't really mean anything. If someone says cap casualty or the cap, they only have this much spending room. Well, if you take 5 guys, or let's say 3 guys that are making, Tannehill makes $22 million, say, hey, here's $21 million right now in a signing bonus, and you're going to make minimum this year.
Right.
But you just freed up however much money in cap.
Oh, without
And
a
you
doubt.
can do that over and over and over
Right.
again. Going back to the potential thing, I had a coach in high school tell me that potential just means you haven't done shit yet.
Right.
That's all potential is.
Right.
So I don't disagree. I'm not a GM. You know what I'm saying? Here I am. I'm still in the NFL, so I'm playing like the on the wall game right now. But I don't see why that wouldn't be the move now, like the Rams did, is saying, fuck the picks, let's go get whoever you want. And with free agency, it's like,
buddy, like,
it's not just free agency, it's everybody's roster.
yeah.
Everybody's for sale.
You got to be willing to jump out in front of the line
Mhm.
early,
Mm-hmm.
right? You can't wait to see what the market is going to dictate. Just go get your guy.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And that'll be the end of it, right? Buffalo, they went and got Von Miller.
Done.
Von Miller didn't have a great season,
Mm-hmm.
but they know what he's capable of to say, all right, we're going to give this guy what we believe he deserves. We're going to we're going to add the years on there. We're going to give him his bonuses up front, and everything else in terms of averages, it helps, is cap friendly.
Yeah.
So they can go and pick a few other guys, but they took the piece of the puzzle that they felt they needed to take them a step further. And
Right.
if they go a step further, they're in the Super Bowl.
And even
Right.
if Von Miller isn't statistically as good as he's been in the past, which I have no doubt he is
He's
capable
a
of doing that still,
presence.
his presence is something you have to be aware of. If I'm playing Von Miller, I'm very aware of
You
where
can't
Von Miller
sleep.
is at all times.
Right.
I'm sleeping, but you have to be aware of where he is all the time. You have to watch the film. How much time is he on the left tackle? How much time is he on the right tackle? When's he up in the middle? Like, you have to be aware of where a guy like that is, that kind of talent. He's crazy talented.
Right.
And he just fucking goes.
Yeah, but
And he lulls you to sleep too, like an asshole. Like, he'll take 3 plays and kind of jog off the ball, and you're like, I'm hemming this dude up. And then all of a sudden he jumps the snap because he starts to learn your snap count a little bit. And fucking, he's around the corner so
Right.
And
fast.
he can bend, bro. Like,
Yeah.
He
this
can
far
bend
off
like
the ground.
crazy.
Right.
He can bend like crazy. Once you overset, his spin move is deadly. And because you have to get back so fast, his long arm, he will put you in the back of the quarterback, no problem.
Savvy Pro.
He's savvy.
Savvy Pro.
fucking
But
pro,
even
dude.
going back to my
That's how Suggs was. Sorry.
early in my career, man, Von, you look at Von, he's a linebacker.
Mhm.
Now we got to get after the quarterback because we know there are going to be more dropbacks than, you mentioned a few teams that are going to go run heavy.
Yeah.
That's just their philosophy, right? Obviously, your coach, Mike, he believes in running the ball, establishing that, playing great defense. He's an old school guy.
Yeah.
But some of these guys, they just want to let it rip. And majority of the NFL teams are that way. So you're going to get these tweeners is what they called them back in the day. I don't think they call them that so much more now.
Yeah.
The guys that were big linebackers that can actually rush the passer. But back in the day, they wouldn't put them there because they would fear the run game and being able to obtain the edge.
Yes,
Yeah.
I would
the
get
edge and
outside
everything
on that
else.
shit in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
But when you have those guys like a Von Miller, you pose a huge threat to offenses. But teams I think teams really just gotta just dig in and make their moves and deal with it. I think Jacksonville will have a better season this year.
I think they
than
will
had
too.
A year ago,
Yeah.
Coach Peterson, he's back. I think Trevor will be better. With all that drama that he had there on the
we got to
coach
talk
Urban
about that
Meyer.
too. That shit was crazy.
Meyer.
Yeah, there was a lot of drama there, man. So I think he'll be better this year.
You think they'll win the division this year?
I'm in Nashville.
I'm always on here trying to set some shit up, dude.
Nah, but it's all good. You know what? But I gotta say this though. I will say this. I don't think
Tread lightly, Fred.
yeah, I hear you. Houston was the top dog 4 years ago.
Mm.
Tennessee took that spot over. Tennessee's been the top
Well,
dog.
don't sleep on the Colts now. It was always
No, the
Colts are nice now.
The Colts are
always nice, dude.
Yeah.
What's their identity?
Buck.
If I'm in your division playing the Colts, I see Matty Ice just went over there and they got rid of Carson Wentz after making they missed the playoffs because we won. Jacksonville won, so they missed the playoffs.
Shout out Jacksonville.
But
yeah, that was wild.
I don't know if Matt Ryan is better than Carson Wentz.
Yeah, but you got Jonathan Taylor.
And you do have Jonathan Taylor.
And they're a well-coached football team. Like, I know that's
as an unbelievable football coach. I tell you what, their identity is the same as the Tennessee Titans. I really believe that.
The Titans are a better
well-coached, physical. They know the rules. They know how to use the rules to their advantage, and they play good. And they're always gap responsible. Their defense is gap responsible. When the DN goes inside, it's not because he just has a whim.
Right.
It's because he's told to. So his backers got his back. They play great, sound football.
I agree with that. And they're very much identical to what you guys have, right? I think you guys have Tannehill in your system. He's been a better player since he landed in Tennessee.
I agree with that.
I just don't know what the identity of the quarterback is in Indy. We know what they bring in the run game. We know what they do on defense. They can't let teams like Jacksonville beat them and split those games in the division. You guys don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't do that. So if you want to be the top dog in the division, you got to crush the bottom, pest or whatever you want to call them.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys have been good at doing that with Jacksonville.
Yeah, we let one slip away with Houston this year.
The Colts haven't.
Yeah, the Colts, they split.
The Colts haven't done that.
They split with Jacksonville. They lost both times to us, and they beat Houston both times, right?
Right.
We beat Jacksonville twice, beat the Colts twice, but we split with Houston. And Houston, with Deshaun not playing, and their coaching thing was kind of up in the air.
That was a letdown.
That was a wild game.
That was a wild loss.
It became a letdown.
There's a reason why it's any given Sunday. Like, the worst team can beat the best team any day of the week.
Very much.
The Cardinals got their ass kicked to the Detroit Lions.
Right. That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it can happen at any time.
The Cardinals, it's the same thing though. Like you're saying, if you're going to be the top dog, you gotta step on the team that's
you got to step
the
on them. But Will, just to go ahead and cap this segment off and answer your question, Jaguars are going to win the division this year.
They're good.
I'm here. I think they'll be better.
That's not a team you sleep on, though. Like, especially when you play in Jacksonville. God forbid it's in December.
Right.
Because you're so used to that
beat
cold and you go
Buffalo.
fucking in Jacksonville.
Buffalo made it to the AFC Championship.
Yeah, they beat him 9-6. What the fuck was that
9-6.
That was
Oh my!
And it was a great game for them at home.
The NFL, bro.
Right, it's the NFL. But then they came back and you didn't see that same team again.
I think a lot of that had to do with Meyer, though. I just think you see all this stuff coming out, and all the shit you read is probably there's half of it's true, half of it's not. But this whole thing with Tim Tebow, where he'd make the players wear the jerseys and like Tim Tebow Tuesdays.
I didn't hear about
wild.
I missed that one. I know he and Timmy are they're super tight.
Yeah,
and I know
those Tebow Tuesdays.
They cut him halfway through camp. They can't be that tight.
Timmy's my guy. Obviously he had a lot of pressure on him for even bringing Tim to the team.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people felt like there's so many other talented guys at that position that was worthy of a tryout, which is what Timmy basically earned. But or Timmy had, I won't say earned, but he had the tryout. And you just go back. Relationships are everything. I always tell people it's not about because they like to say it's about who you know.
Right.
I always like to say it's about who knows you. Right.
That's good.
Because
I like that.
You can vouch for me if you know me. Right.
Right.
It's, more so than me knowing you, I got to wait on a phone call and you might not call me back. But you can vouch for me.
Mm-hmm.
And Urban, he knows Timmy well, and he's like, hey, I'm going to bring you in and give you a shot. But a lot of people felt like there are so many other guys worthy of that tryout, but you totally just dismissed it and brought your homeboy in.
Right.
You know, for the
And
most
in the
part.
beginning, like obviously everything panned out the way it has, and you know they've all split up and all that stuff. But in the very beginning, like you're trying to build a culture too as a head coach, and it's like Tim Tebow, he's kind of got the reputation.
So you know how the locker room, you can lose the locker room so easy. You know, even when that happened, the guys in the locker room was like, Tebow's a joke. I mean, I love Tim. Tim's my guy. His foundation, what he does in life, who he is as a person, you know, and who he is as an analyst. I always felt like, baseball player. I always felt like he didn't get a fair shot after doing what he did with the Broncos, you know, in the playoff run, all that different stuff. You know, he's not the conventional quarterback. You know, you go and you script some stuff around him. He was a winner. He was a guy that would put his heart on the line.
I mean, one of the best players in Florida.
Right? So
he legit, I think he could have been in the league like a Taysom Hill, the Mormon Missile.
He could have definitely done that.
Mormon Missile. Shout out to Mormon
He really
Missile,
could have been that dude.
He could have definitely done that. So for Tim, you know, I love Tim across the board. I just think that the timing of what happened in Jacksonville, you know, Urban coming back in with the baggage he was already bringing back into the NFL. The strength coach, that was a red flag. Tim was a red flag. He go out there, you lose a game in Cincinnati, a tough game against eventually the Super Bowl, the guys that lost in the Super Bowl. You go up there, and then now you're in your home state of Ohio. You're out there getting what they consider a lap dance and all this other stuff. You didn't fly home with the team. With all that other stuff, right? You have a rookie quarterback who was dependent on his head coach being a leader. You know, so now the media is tearing him up. The quarterback isn't playing well. Jacksonville isn't playing well. Jacksonville's always considered one of the big and laughing stocks teams in the business of football. So just a lot of distraction on top of distractions on top of that. So it was drama down there, man. And I do their home games each and every week. I do their away games from my place. But when they're home, I go do in-stadium analysis as far as for their media and the fan stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm tucked in with them and following them real close, man. It was bad. The local media was beating them up. The national media was killing them. I think it was the right move for the franchise to cancel his contract. But again, I do think that Coach Peterson, having taken a year off, have some time to evaluate the NFL and, you know, how the game is going now, get creative while he's at home. He's the offensive genius. The things he done in Philly, you know, for those 4 years, winning the Super Bowl.
Quarterback too.
Quarterbacks, he's great, a former quarterback who's going to be a great quarterback coach. I just think that with that, along with the quarterback, his confidence is amazing. I think he's going to be great, man.
Yeah, he's got to be great. He's
now that the drama's gone, he gets to settle down. I like to see what Travis Etienne is going to do to help James Robinson to take some pressure off Lawrence Trevor.
Oh, yeah.
So, I'm expecting the Jags to have a big year, and not just saying it because I'm a former player, just seeing there how all of the pieces can fall into play. I think they definitely will win. They'll be above 500.
That's a big statement.
Nah, I think so.
The league is
it's
a 500 league.
Yeah, it is, but I think they'll be above 500. Yeah. They got a good defense. They put some pieces together there. I think they did a great job in free agency. They went after some big receivers. I think, honestly, I think they probably overspent a bit for those receivers.
Who'd they get in free agency?
They got Christian Kirk.
Oh, stud, Arizona boy.
What's my guy out of Carolina? Raiders.
Number 7.
Yeah, Zay.
Yeah. Zay is good. Not to say that those guys aren't worthy of, you know, the contracts that they got. Those guys are really good players. I just think that based on the market, how the market was set, that they went out there and took their shots. And, you know, when you have guys like Devontae Adams out there, Cheetah, what he just got in the contract that he got.
I don't think the Jags had the draft liquidity to go get Cheetah though, right?
Shit. they got so much equity and liquidity and cash, cap space. They had everything.
Yeah,
At the
But
most.
I'm saying draft picks. They only have one draft pick this year, right? The first overall pick, though.
Because Devontae, they had to trade up some picks, right? Cheetah,
Yeah,
they traded some picks.
They
But
did
the
like
first-
2 first-round picks,
Really, the
second-round
first
pick, a third-round
the
pick.
first pick in the draft
Mm,
really equates to 2 first-round picks at the end of the day.
strong statement. I don't
It
disagree
does.
with that. It all depends on the value of the draft class too. How strong is
And,
this
and
draft
your
class?
your need
Yeah.
in the value of the
Yeah.
draft. I
And
agree.
I think the first overall pick. This is what I've heard. This is not my own statement.
This
So
is Taylor Lewan's
tread light.
statement. Go ahead.
What I've been told is there's no like this is the number 1 overall guy. There's no like this quarterback is the second coming of Peyton Manning guy in this draft right now. Where I think that first overall pick would be much more enticing to some
Right.
teams that need a quarterback.
Yeah, Jacksonville isn't that team.
Yeah,
You know.
I think Trevor's going to be a stud. He can sling that thing. He's got the beautiful mane. He's killing it.
Yeah, I don't see. Well, I can foresee the Jags. In my mind, in my opinion, trading out of that spot.
Really?
I don't. As in
Who's a
terms
suitor
of
though? Someone who needs an edge rusher like Aiden Hutchinson, who needs an offensive lineman like James O'Neal, which I think you guys need.
I think they do need an offensive
they-
lineman,
Well,
but
sorry, I
picks for
think I was
Devontae.
told that I think you guys need. I don't know. Cam Robinson's a great. tackle to me.
Cam is solid. Juwan Taylor is solid. I don't think they've been as consistent
Mhm.
as the team would like them to be to protect,
Yeah.
the number 1 pick and hopefully
Now-
a future.
Now, to keep in
Hall of
mind
Famer.
on that statement, it's very difficult as an offensive lineman when you're playing behind for every game. If you're
Right.
losing games by a
That's
lot of
true.
points, you go in a half. You say, "Hey, we got to throw the ball out. We're in 2 minutes."
Right.
These rushers know they're pinning their ears back. It's not fair to Cam and Juwan to be like these guys didn't do X, Y, and Z when you're playing from behind by
Right.
so much.
That's very true. And then you look at the little things, the things that I'm sure you go out there. You look at your first step. You look at your hand placement. You look at your leverage. Hi hat, up or down. You want to
Yeah.
make sure you're solid. A lot of times when you look at these guys, I don't want to say it's always sloppy play,
Mhm.
but when you see multiple holding in games,
Yeah.
and you question, their discipline, their techniques, and this is back-to-back weeks.
Yeah.
And
Tackle.
that's not acceptable
Mhm.
in the NFL. And a lot of times too, you're right. If you're going to drop back X amount of times because you're playing from behind, at least script up something where the running backs are going to come out there and help the tackles.
Mhm.
Chip on your release, quick release, whatever it might be, you got to help the guys. So I think we have 2 pretty decent tackles. Cam just got tagged, franchise tag. I
Yep.
think he's getting, 15 mil a year?
Which is not very much money for the
15, 18 or whatever it might
if
be.
it's
It's
18,
something
that's
like
a solid
that.
deal.
It's
Yeah.
something like that. But you got to go out there and earn it.
Yeah. Brandon
so I
Sheriff,
don't know what
offensive
they're
guard, you
gonna
guys
do.
picked him up. He's been a stud out of Iowa.
He's
Yeah,
solid.
he's a stud, dude. He's a moose.
He's pretty good. And actually, we just sent our guard to Washington in exchange for Brandon.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I think Jacksonville has enough equity to make whatever moves they need to make in the draft to make the team better. But I do like to start with Coach Peterson. I think he's gonna, I think he's gonna do well for him.
You got an owner who loves the franchise, puts a lot of money into it. You go to that
Mhm.
stadium, it's always beautiful.
Right.
There's the pool in the back and stuff like that. So they're throwing good money into
Love
it.
to
They're
be in
not
the pool
afraid to
one day.
spend. I know, no
But it's
doubt.
the NFL. Like
I know,
that's
but I'm saying from like,
entertainment.
but people have crushed owners in the past for kind of like, these are billionaires. Some
Right.
of them got their money from oil or stock market or
Right.
whatever.
Right.
Parents.
Yeah, parents, whatever. Relax, guy. But in those situations, people are like, well, these people don't put money in the franchise. Who's going to want to come there? Blah, 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 blah.
Right.
This guy spends money.
Right.
He puts money in it.
Got a lot
The
of it.
thing that was missing, and listen, this is not, well, I guess it is my statement since I'm fucking saying it. Keep doing that. I keep doing that trying to cover my ass. I really do.
Get
But,
that insurance policy.
Is leadership. Like Vrabel took us to the next level because he's a great leader. You know,
Mhm.
some of these coaches, Sean McVay is a great leader of men.
Mhm.
So he's taking these guys to the next level. They obviously have the star power.
Right.
But Peterson, right? I
Mhm.
think he's a leader of men, and that's the thing that's missing. Where if you're in those tighter games, maybe you pull those things out because those guys maybe know a few more keys that they might have shown in a Friday tape or something like that.
Yeah.
Right. He has a clean slate. I mean, he's been off for a year, right? And he's going into a team that hadn't done anything over the past, since 2017, actually, when they made the AFC Championship run.
Yeah.
They haven't done a thing. And a lot of those guys aren't even on the team. So what he's inheriting is, a very young team.
Yeah.
There aren't a lot of veteran guys on the team. You hit it right, the nail right in the head when you said leadership. What's their identity? Who's that C, that captain patch on your jersey? That doesn't mean a fucking thing.
No.
You got to go out there and earn that each and every week, and not just verbalizing it. You got to. For me, it always came through my play.
Yeah.
I wasn't a rah-rah, talk. I'm not gonna motivate you through a speech. I might can say some
You got
stuff.
some good wisdom now.
I'll probably say some stuff on a Saturday every blue moon when the coach say, "Fred, we need you." I ain't just gonna go out there and say, that just wasn't me.
Right.
I want to go out there and bust a 50-yarder on, 3rd and 2, in a 9-man box, diamond front or whatever. I want to motivate you that way.
Yeah.
I want to get everybody excited. And then, we can create that momentum that way. But they just never, over the past couple years, I think they've lost their identity in that sense.
Yeah.
Calais Campbell, when he was out of the building, Unique, these guys who were part of that amazing, the Saxonville defense.
Yeah.
When they made that run, who are those guys? Josh Allen is great. I can't really speak for Josh because I'm not in the building.
Yeah.
But looking at his play, I think guys will follow him.
Yeah.
They just recently
he's like that
released.
dude when you play against him too, like
Right.
he's the one
When he's jumping
when
over
things are going
motherfuckers,
well.
like
Right.
Well, even at timeouts, when you're in a timeout, if let's say we were playing them and we were playing well, he's getting on the guys about X, Y, and Z. He's not afraid
Right.
to speak up. I like Josh Allen a lot.
I think he's a stud. They just released Miles Jack,
Yeah.
who was that
Yeah,
leader.
he's a stud.
They released Miles, so
he seemed like a wild card to me.
Yeah, he'd always get that little 15-yarder on you, but look who's talking.
Right. He's somebody who's like super talented. And as a linebacker who watched him, sometimes I thought he'd be lazy in his technique because I'm thinking like, bro, you could be you have the ability to be one of the greatest to ever do it. You know what I mean? And sometimes
right.
like,
but you
he
pay
wouldn't
more
always
attention
get-
to it. Obviously,
Yeah.
I'm looking at things and I'm looking at those guys, but I'm not looking at technique for technique, play in, play out. But I know that they respect Miles.
Right.
Right.
The players definitely gravitate towards Miles, but he's no longer in the locker room.
Yeah.
And on the offensive side, let's be honest. I mean, who are you turning? You have a young quarterback.
Mhm.
He's trying to voice his opinion, but he was just a rookie.
Right.
Yeah.
Guys are looking at him like, this ain't fucking college.
Especially when
That
Urban's doing
shit
that.
doesn't
antics
fly.
he's
You know
doing.
what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
I don't think that the offense had a clear identity in terms of leadership. A guy that they can point to when it was crunch time. But hopefully they'll figure it out. I don't know who that guy is going to be. And they might even lean on the quarterback because he, like I said, he's a high talent, very confident. His poise is amazing. I just want to be able to see him replicate success week in and week out and show some consistency. And I think they'll be all right.
And here we are again to do another ad read for you guys. Please take a little break from the Fred Taylor, get a nice little stretch in there and enjoy yourself. And while you're doing so, please do me a favor and jump on the YouTube. This is getting so redundant, but it's redundant for a reason because the ask is that real. YouTube, Spotify, Twitter, Apple, everything in between. I need you to jump on and go subscribe to those things. Will told a little thing before last week's segment, and we were with Barstool, and they told us that, and that's where he got that information. That's how it works. You learn it, and then you regurgitate it. And one thing we learned is that 70% of our users are actually unsubscribed. And I'm looking at you guys right now. That other 30%, those tier ones, tier twos, they're subscribed. They're rating 5 stars. And I'm just asking, let's say 10 more percent of you to jump on, right? 10 more percent, and we'll work on the rest of you later. But go ahead and be one of those 10%. One of these things right now we're about to talk about might be a little taboo. It might be a little uncomfortable for you. Maybe you're sitting there, your legs are crossed, and you're pushing down on the private area because you're not sure if your old boy's going to work. I'm here to let you know that Roman is here for you. Look, no one's perfect. Even the best baseball players strike out with the bases loaded. The best golfers sometimes 3-putt with a tournament on the line. So if you feel like you're coming up a little bit short in the bedroom sometimes, it's perfectly okay. But if it's bothering you, there's options. Go to getroman.com/bussinboys now. With Roman, what, did I mess that up? Did I mess that up? I'm good. All right. Sorry. Listen, your boy gets paranoid sometimes. We're going to start the whole thing over again because it's really important to hear that. Go to getroman.com/bussinboys now. With Roman, you can get a free online evaluation on ongoing care for ED, all from the comfort and the privacy of your home. That's a super important thing, right? Because you don't know if it's really working. You don't know is it something wrong with me? Is it something wrong with them? Is it something what I'm putting up my nose? Those types of things. All the basic questions that run through your mind at certain times. It's really important to you maybe get a free online consultation and get what's right for you. I have a lot of buddies who have that issue. Your boys had that issue one time. I've had that problem once. I will be honest. And it was recreational things that actually made that happen. So I'm I'm safe now. It works. And there's not a lot of blood flow needed to get that little boy up anyway. A U.S. licensed healthcare professional will work with you to find the best treatment plan. If medication is appropriate, it ships to you free with a 2-day shipping. The whole process is straightforward and discreet. Getting started is simple. Just go to getroman.com/bussin and complete the online visit. Take care of your ED without leaving your home. Complete an online visit today and connect with a doctor and just take care of it, right? They'll be happier. You'll be happier. Maybe you learn some new moves also, right? With confidence comes a little more extra here and there, right? You start moving them hips to the side a little bit. You start reading some fun books. Maybe they were made in Japan and you can do some fun stuff with it. A little call to action for you guys here. It's going to be a little redundant, but here we go again because I really want you to get it. Go to getroman.com/bussin to get a free online evaluation and ongoing care for AD. Okay, hold on. Let's do that one more time because I got a little jittery there. Go to getroman.com/bussinboys to get a free online evaluation and ongoing care for ED. There it is. All from the comfort and privacy of your home. Subscribe, unsubscribe, resubscribe, and then back to the Fred Taylor.
Yeah. To pivot, going back on your...
That's dope, bro. That's dope, bro. That's dope.
Going back on your career, is there anything you look back on and you think you wish you would have done differently? Like, because you talk about injuries all the time.
Right.
You talk about how you had like an injury-ridden career.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like look back and be like, damn, I wish I would have took care of myself a little bit differently?
I joke a lot of times and say, I wish I would have been born 10 to 20 years later for a few reasons, right? These fucking checks are crazy. I mean, you getting scrubs are getting $7 million a year.
Yeah, that's a lot of money out there. There's a lot of money out there for them boys.
But even aside from that, right? Just the science. The science, and how the game has evolved to how guys are taking care of their bodies so early. Going in. They right now, nutrition is top dog. When we came in, you had teams like the Cincinnati Bengals on their meal table. They were giving the guys Popeye's chicken,
McDonald's,
KFC, and stuff. After, but that's not what these guys are getting now.
I hear you.
Right? Those little things actually matter. I learned that later in my career. When you look at just from a medicinal standpoint, I ain't talking about cannabis now.
It sounded like you were about to talk about cannabis.
As long as you pass the test, it doesn't,
Yeah, I mean, I smoked my entire career. That's a whole nother story,
too. Bro.
I mean...
Obviously, you guys were part of the DARE program growing up. You need to figure the fuck out.
But just a few things, man. Just learning how to take care of your body in this day and age, man. I mean, the science is there. You just understand it. I think I would have gravitated towards that more so in how I work out and train in the off season. When I played, I didn't do a thing in the off season until March when we reported back to minicamp, or not OTAs, not minicamp, but OTAs prior to minicamp. I just didn't care. Later on, I felt that was more important, and then my numbers started ascending. I got better as a player. I matured there, but I don't have any regrets other than, can this be the locker room moment? No, I guess I'll wait. No. I guess I could talk about it. Yeah.
Well, do you want to? We can do this.
I got something else for a locker room moment. I guess I'll figure it out.
Wow, my man's got all the shit.
Yeah. So the only regret that I have as a player, it was in 2000 against the Pittsburgh Steelers. We took a trip down to Orlando, myself and like 8 other guys. We took a trip to Orlando. Got back to we went to party down there. It was like a classic or something. Got back to Jacksonville. Team meetings at 8 a.m. We got back to Jacksonville at 7:45 a.m. rolled in the team meeting room. Our suits and everything was in a limousine, ready for the plane. Somehow we all stumbled in. We were all toasted. We were fried, man. We was a wrap. Went through the meeting. Somehow made it through the walkthrough. Flew up to Pittsburgh. I was cramping on Saturday. I cramped all day Sunday. I was dehydrated. Luckily for me, it was a Sunday night game. Otherwise, I wouldn't have played at a 1 o'clock or 4 o'clock.
Damn.
So Sunday night kickoff, it was Three Rivers Stadium before they imploded it. Now it's Heinz Field, what they have.
Epic stadium, by the way.
Yeah,
Heinz
it was
Field.
super dope.
Renegade.
Right. Crazy fans, too.
Crazy.
So that night, though, I ended up rushing for 234 yards, 4 touchdowns, cramped up late third, early fourth quarter, didn't play the rest of the game. I feel like I could have broke the single season or single game record that day if I didn't cramp up because the Steelers never stopped me that day. So,
that's fucking wild, bro.
I didn't take IV at halftime or anything. I just was cramping up. It was crazy.
You ain't take IVs for any of it?
You know what? IVs at half became popular much later in my career. That wasn't a thing.
Even before games too?
That was not a thing.
It's just drink water and Gatorade.
Drink water and Gatorade. And they had this thing.
They
had these little electrolyte tablets that you could put in your Gatorade and like fizz.
Yeah.
It was all bullshit, Barker. It was crazy. I mean, it probably worked. I don't know.
Enjoy the fizz a little bit.
It's the fizz.
Pickle juice, that's another thing.
Pickle juice, I know.
You know
the
how
vinegar and all that stuff. Sodium. Yeah.
Shit on anything that you do. They're like, that's bullshit, don't work, but they're just fucking good, so you can't say much to them.
No doubt.
Oh, come on. But no, seriously, though, that was my biggest regret. I feel like I could have got the single game rushing record. And I know for certain Coach Coughlin would have given me the ball more and more. Yeah, that's my only regret in my career.
Damn. That's tough.
Yeah.
Fuck. I don't need. That's a hard regret, my guy.
That is.
But my overall career, though, I mean, I had my share of injuries, man. I partied. I was hanging out. I did a lot of stuff. Wild, young, stupid. Running through Jacksonville, running through Miami. Unconsciously, just
Freddie T,
just whatever. I was wide open, man.
Freddie T, he had a good
I'm
time.
sure Jack and Garrett hated you growing up.
Say again.
So y'all hated y'all.
Fans.
Oh yeah.
Get the fuck out of here, dude. You were talking so much trash before you walked on the bus.
Hey, listen. So I remember like it was yesterday. My 5th game of my career was against the Titans. The 5th game of my career. The previous week, James Stewart got hurt. One of your guys, Tennessee Volunteer. Stu got hurt because people in Jacksonville were calling me a bust.
Ooh, that's
after 4 games.
Preseason.
Trash preseason, huh?
It was
drafted top 10 too.
Number 9, 98. Yeah.
Damn.
So they were calling me a bust,
more than
man.
your boy.
And that's crazy. So Stu got hurt. Coach Coughlin, Tony Baselli, just recently elected Hall of Fame. Bo was like, this fucking rookie's coming in. Oh, shit. They didn't think I had it. I went in, my first carry against the Ravens, 52-yard touchdown. Cutback sweep. I toasted the Ravens that day.
Yeah.
I toasted
That's
them.
back when they were that defense.
They were that defense, the best defense in the league history.
Damn.
And I gave them the business. They were the top dogs from 98 to like 2000. Well, they're still top dogs, right?
Yeah. Great defense. Ray Lewis doing
like
his little
04,
slide and
yeah.
stabbing people.
Yeah. So I gave them the business. The very next week was the Titans. Playing at Vanderbilt. Yeah, I remember that. Playing at Vanderbilt.
They were probably at the game.
The shittiest locker rooms in the history of the NFL. It was the worst.
Turf Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
No free shout outs, Vanderbilt.
They were garbage, right? They were awful. But I remember having a $130 that day. I know y'all were crying. Yeah, I went home crying. It was AstroTurf.
I know y'all were crying.
Yeah, y'all were crying on the way home.
Damn.
Oh, shit. 98? Yeah, it was 98, yeah. But yeah, I mean, I don't really have any regrets on my career, man, other than that one game.
Yeah.
I thought I did okay, and it comes with what it comes with. I think I will make the Hall of Fame someday.
I wanted to talk to you about that because I don't want to bring this up in a bad way, but Chris Johnson was on I Am Athlete.
I saw that.
and he was talking about what's the criteria. Like,
Mhm.
I think I should be in it.
I'm with Chris.
He changed the game. You're with him on that.
I agree with that. What's the criteria?
Yeah.
What's the criteria? What
tough.
is the criteria? Like, what is it? I don't know.
Yeah.
I retired 15th all time, 11,600 and
You know, go ahead.
35 or something.
You
Y'all
know exactly the number. You know exactly the number.
42 records.
I might be off. I could be off. It's been a while since I looked at
You
it.
know it. Go ahead.
But at the time when I retired, I knew my numbers were better than 15 of the guys that were currently in the Hall of Fame. Whether they're modern era or old school, my numbers were better than these guys. So that alone, right? Alone, what's the criteria?
Yeah.
Like, shouldn't you just say this guy is better than these other guys? Like, I think he's deserving of a spot in here. Not first ballot, obviously. I think I would have been first ballot if I hadn't missed 60. I missed 60 games in 13 years.
Oh, damn.
60 fucking games. I missed 14 and 14, 28 games my last 2 seasons almost when I was in New England. That actually brought my rushing average per game down. And my yards per carry came down based on the games that I suited up for the Patriots. Got 1 snap or 2 snaps because of their system.
Yeah.
So now when you look at per game averages, they came down because I dressed out, but I didn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I do think that I will make the Hall of Fame. When? I don't know. But I think my career was worthy. My numbers speak for itself. I agree with Chris. You know, Chris was a bad man. The only thing I disagree with was when he said he was the first 200-pound back to come in and be an every down back. I was 226 doing it. Just as fast. I ran 4.28 40 at 226 coming out.
Damn.
On grass.
You faster than Chris.
No, hell no. No, I wasn't faster than Chris, but I ran 4.28 40 on grass at my Florida workout. Chris ran his in Indy at the combine. I didn't run at the combine. I was advised by my agent not to.
Why?
I would have. He just said, just run on your pro day. There's no pressure.
I'm trying to
But I didn't even train for my pro day. I didn't train for the combine. I didn't train for my pro day. I did 6. I did 6.
You just knew you were going up top.
God is my witness on my dying grandmother. I did 6 20-yard start to train. I went down to New Orleans to Coach Tom Shaw, and Coach Shaw might be watching at some. I don't know.
Shaw.
He's in Orlando now, but he had his facility in New Orleans. I went down there because my agent, they had a relationship. I went down there, and after the first day of getting acclimated and doing his workouts and everything, we did a few starts. He pulled me aside. I said, "Hey, why are you here?" I was like, "Because my agent asked me to come. I'm working out." He's like, "You're the closest thing to Bo Jackson I ever seen in my life."
Damn.
He said, "Why you here?" The next day I left.
Yeah.
I was out of there. I left. I was out of there, man. And I just didn't train. Myself, Jaquez Green. We just we did a few starts on the track field back at UF in Gainesville. And the next thing you know is pro day, and we went out there and we lit it up. Yeah.
Damn.
41-inch vert, 4.28 40 on the grass.
That's so insulting to me and Will.
Sickening, bro.
Blinding, dude.
I'm like in a Rocky IV montage during my pro day training. You know what I'm saying? And this motherfucker's just going out with his homeboy on the track and just being like, "All right, I feel good, man. Let's go do it."
I don't really say that, as, I'm not bragging. Looking back, I'm like, fuck, I really could have really trained and killed a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I could have been in these conversations where these guys are the fastest 40s and this and that or whatever. I could have been right there, but much bigger. So I do agree with Chris on the whole criteria thing.
Yeah.
The only thing that I disagree with is that I was, a 200+ pound back playing every single first down, second down, third down, goal line.
Yeah.
He wasn't the one that started that.
Right.
Yeah.
You were.
Fucking right.
I fucking love it. Shifting a little bit, like, I wanted to ask you, because we've all seen like the documentary 30 for 30 Broke and stuff like that, and doing some digging on your stuff, it seems like you had an incident where you were defrauded like $3.5 million.
Right.
And I was wondering if you would speak on that. And then also if there was like advice or any insight to any young guys or anybody listening that can be in this position,
Mm-hmm.
to be a little more, to be more cautious or be wary of signs that maybe you look back on and think I should have looked for those things.
Right. Yeah, no, I'm always willing to speak on it, man, because it'll help someone else, and that'll do a huge service to them as well as myself, man. For me, it's gratitude and giving back, and that's the first thing I look for. I know we're, 24 years removed since my rookie year,
it's been a
94,
while.
98, and things are more prevalent in right in front of us, and I think from a financial literacy and taking care of your finances as players, athletes, guys that don't come from those demographics, that haven't been able to inherit what financial awareness and being able to take care of their money, right? I think it's huge service for them for me to speak on it. I came in, I chose my first agent first and foremost because he's a black guy. I had an opportunity to go with Lee Steinberg. They really courted me and tried to recruit me, but I turned them down. I don't even regret that, because I feel that in hindsight, I have an opportunity. This is a part of me.
Mm-hmm.
That became a part of me. It became part of my story. It's a tool that I can use to help other people.
Right.
To try to steer them clear of falling in the same trap that I fell in. So I chose my first agent. He's a black guy. He recruited me like a father figure. My father, we developed a relationship late in my life. Around my junior year of high school, my dad came back from the military, got back involved in my life, but I still didn't have that guy that I trusted as a father figure. Insert Tank Black, my first agent. And he came in. I had a $5 million signing bonus. In 98, that was ninth pick. That was huge. I had potential to make like 16 mil on my rookie deal.
Mm-hmm.
And he took that check after I signed it. I remember seeing $2.8 million go into a bank account. I took $500,000 just so I can have my, my annual bills and whatever I needed. So what they did was they took that money, invested in a offshore account, which eventually became a Ponzi scheme. They took that, put all of it over there, like 2.3 mil. They put it over there, but they would give me these window documents of what I was getting for return on the investment, which was like 30 grand a month. So at the time, off of 2.3 million, I'm seeing $30,000 a month. That's $360,000 a year. I'm like, all right, we can do a little bit more than 10% in the market. That's fine. But you fast forward, it end up being a Ponzi scheme, total bullshit. At that time, 9/11 happened, the market crashed, and a lot of my teammates ran back to the locker room. They lost a lot of money.
Yeah.
In those times, they lost a lot of money. But my money was frozen in the Ponzi scheme. So what the government did was we filed a claim to say, all right, we were involved in this. So the money that was frozen, I ended up getting back about $2 million of it. So I lost the $300,000 plus whatever interest I could have made in a regular investment. And that was like 4 years later, right? So I go from Tank Black to another guy, Jeff Rubin, who I knew from college. And a lot of other guys knew Jeff. So Jeff befriended me. We ended up getting together. He became my financial guy. It's sort of, I always think about that like the new girl that comes.
Mm-hmm.
If you're that guy that meets her first, you get friendly with her, then you have a better shot at her than the other guys, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So Jeff I was coming off of a bad breakup.
Right.
And he was the first guy to say, hey, I can do this, and this. All right, cool, we're good, let's go. So I hired him as my financial guy. Some investments early on were very moderate, very conservative.
Mm-hmm.
Fine. right? Mutual funds, easy stuff, 3, 4, 5%. He started taking shots in these private equity deals. He put us in this casino deal down in Alabama. And Bama, I thought it was a good deal, right? It was a charitable bingo operation, which at the time they were great in Alabama. But the politics in Alabama, never so great. So they they built up the casino. It was amazing property. They built it up. On our opening night, they raided it. Mm-hmm. Then they said, this is a legal operation. The bingo is a front for this, that, and that. Whatever. I can get into that, but that would take forever.
Was that true?
Nah, they just changed the law overnight.
Got you.
That's why it just changed the freaking law overnight. And we were slated to make, I had like 1.6 mil in that deal. And probably was going to do about 60% on our money a year.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's a casino.
Right.
It was amazing
money.
Property. So it was just going to just print money. So fast forward, they shut that down, lost that money, had to fight against the banks, had to fight against the law firm that eventually actually didn't give us operating agreements and PPMs. So we sued the law firm that did it, settled out there, sued the bank because a lot of things are forged through the bank. But Jeff Rubin, who's the financial advisor, he's a 60 Minutes special too. I had T.O., Ray Lewis, a lot of top guys, Javon Curse, myself. He's still just out there living the dream. But it was just bad, man, and just got with bad people. And, but I learned a valuable lesson, stuff that I can talk to my kids about, I can talk to young players about. I can go into these speaking engagements in these different Fortune 500s and talk to their employees about. So in hindsight, it was a blessing in disguise. I learned a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm much better for it now in terms of finances. It's going to help my kids, in the long run.
Right.
But yeah, it's
just... And the platform you have with Pivot.
And the platform now, for sure. So those experiences, man, they're not short of anything. I can give back in so many different ways. So yeah, it was just bad. Timing was always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have yet taken another pause because you guys keep listening and they keep calling and asking for the ads. But these people, we honestly might not even charge them for. They're that delicious. And that's the barrels that are sitting right in front of me, the mini barrels, the cans, if you will. And that is the Whistle Pig. Whistle Pig is an unbelievable whiskey. The piggyback barrel-aged craft cocktail in a can is so much better than the seltzer. So it really is. You might feel a little uncomfortable. You're sitting at the pool party. Yep, summer's right around the corner. Let's get those beach pods right. Am I right? You're sitting at the party and you got that little can and girls are drinking the same thing as you and you might not feel manly enough. Well, let me tell you right now, with 8% alcohol, piggyback barrel-aged rye smash has got your back. It's crisp and refreshing, but super bold and flavorful. I don't think there's anything like this out there. It's so refreshing, bold, balanced. Whistle Pig takes more flavor. Okay, I must have not done a great job reading this first. Whistle Pig take on more flavorful seltzer, and it's 8%. So sign me up on that. The fruit in it is barrel aged in whiskey barrels, giving it those whiskey notes. Now I'm a big whiskey guy, but this is going to be my go-to for tailgates, out on the boat, for the bonfire. Honestly, it's the perfect for any kickback type of outing. We have an exciting promo with our friends at Whistle Pig. Use code BUSSIN22 and receive 10% off your order at cans.whistlepig.com. Personally, my favorite flavor is the black lemon fizz. I think you put that thing on ice a little bit or just throw it in the fridge for about 20 to 30 minutes. You're living La Vida Loca, boys and girls. You're going to absolutely enjoy yourself. It's outstanding. So just use code BUSSIN22 to receive 10% off your order at cans.whistlepigwhiskey.com. And this is the last ad, correct? So this is my quadruple down on you guys. Just please, God, subscribe. You guys go and do that. It sounds so annoying, right? I'm like that girlfriend that just keeps texting and kind of just want her to go away. But here I am, right? I'm back. You haven't blocked me yet. So here we are. Go ahead and jump on. Subscribe, unsubscribe, resubscribe. And it doesn't matter where you go. It could be Spotify. It could be Apple. It could be Twitter. It could be Facebook. It could be Instagram. It could be everything in between. Hit them all if you want, because that's what the tier ones are going to do. That is what they're going to do. You guys have a great rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of this Fred Taylor podcast. You're going to love it. I hope you loved it so far. I hope you're making lots of comments. It's an outstanding time. And that ending part too, I told you, it gets a little fierce. So enjoy.
Should we have some fun? You got to follow up?
No. The segment?
Yeah, the Tier Talk? Tier Talk locker room story.
Go ahead.
All right, so Tier Talk, here's what we got. We put together a few lists. You're going to rate them Tier 1 to Tier 3.
All right.
Because our fan base, they're tiers.
One being the best?
One being the best,
Okay.
2 obviously, and then you get the deal. So what we have...
Who's your research guy? Because I've seen they got my hometown on there. They got a lot of dope
I
stuff.
believe, what, Alex, was it you? Alex back there.
I
He
see,
dives
I
deep.
see,
He
I
gets
see.
deep.
Oh, yeah.
But here's what we have. We have 5 backs from each decade of the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. In the 80s, you see Eric Dickerson, Walter Payton, Earl Campbell, O.J. Simpson, and Tony Dorsett. In the 90s, you got Emmitt Smith, Barry Sanders, Marshall Faulk, Terrell Davis, and Thurman Thomas. You're kind of like a tweener.
Right,
You
right.
and Eddie George. In the 2000s, that's where we put you, AP, Clinton Portis, Priest Holmes, and LaDainian Tomlinson.
Okay.
Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3. Give me those from those decades.
I'm ranking each decade.
You're ranking the
right?
decades. Which decade are you taking?
Oh, fuck. Oh, so I got to take the decade itself and not the player.
Yeah,
Don't
decade
rank the
itself.
players.
You can rank the players. That's a little fun too, but
All right.
start with the decade.
All right. So, starting with the decade, man, I think, the 80s were solid. They were running backs were drafted to do in the 80s. Eric Dickerson, 2,000 yards. Walter Payton, my idol.
He
Earl
was the
Campbell.
man, bro.
Downhill. OJ, we know what the Juice did. Tony Dorsett.
Murder.
Praying for TD.
God damn. The subtle one-liner.
Not that we know what the Juice
But what if
did.
he did? I think there's a book about that.
There's a lot of stuff on what he did.
No, I mean in terms of
Hello, Twitter
what
world.
what he did on the field as a player. The 80s is tough. Jeez. I think I'll go with the 90s though.
90s tier
Tier
1?
1?
Tier 1.
Slot it in?
Yeah.
Final answer.
I'm a
90s
huge
tier
Barry
1.
Sanders. Marshall Faulk is the reason I wear 28. Terrell Davis didn't play long enough, but he was a beast.
Doug.
Thurman missed the consistency. He did everything in Buffalo. Catch, run, top dog. I got to go 80s tier 2.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I got to keep it real.
Done? Bing.
Done.
It's
Yeah.
done.
Go with your decade last.
Yeah. I mean, I think we have some great players in my decade. Eric Dickerson first, 2,000-yard back. Like I said, Walter Payton was just that guy, man. He influenced me. But my decade, I love LaDainian. I love Adrian Peterson. If I had to rate those guys in my decade, I'm gonna go LT 1. Adrian Peterson 2, myself 3, Portis 4, and Priest Holmes 5. Priest had a hell of a line in KC. I think Clinton certainly better than Priest. Clinton has some good juice too, coming from Denver, then heading over to Redskins. That slash running play, 38-39. He did some good stuff there, but yeah, man, Barry Sanders is the best. Aside from Jim Brown, Barry is he's my 1B back all time. Emmett, Florida Gator, but I think Emmett is he's probably 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 on the list of
All time?
yeah.
He had some monster O-lines.
Yeah. Emmett wasn't fancy. He just was downhill, one cut and go. He didn't he wasn't, for me, he wasn't entertaining, but he did play, in the Cowboys jersey, and that was more entertaining itself. I'm going to take Adrian Peterson, LaDainian. I'm going to go Eric Dickerson, Walter Payton. Just on this list right here, Eric Dickerson, Walter Payton, Eric Dickerson.
1, 2.
For sure.
Okay.
LaDainian, Adrian Peterson.
Oh, you're doing all time.
No,
right now. You're doing your
not
all-time
one. Yeah, no, not 1, 2. I'm sorry, not 1, 2. Because Barry is 1.
You're doing your
Barry's
top
1.
running backs of all time.
Yeah, I was gonna go that way. So Barry is 1. I like to say Walter Payton for me is 2. Eric Dickerson is 3. Marshall Faulk, would be 4. LaDainian would be 5. AP would be 6. I'll put myself in there at 7. I got 2. That's a
Respect the
lucky
sevens,
number. Yeah.
Respect the sevens, man.
Right.
It's a fun little game.
Yeah, it's dope.
Because OJ was a monster.
OJ was a beast.
In a lot of ways.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with I'll go right here with Emmett 8, just
Ooh.
consistency. Thurman 9, OJ 10. Yeah.
So you're better than Emmitt Smith and OJ and Thurman?
Pound for pound. Hell yeah.
Love
I'm not disagreeing with you.
Yeah, no, I mean
I know half the names on this list.
Right.
I don't want no.
I think
I don't want no beef,
I
man.
think if I'm healthy, Walter Payton, the best thing he did, same with Emmett, those guys were on the field.
Yeah.
They were there every Sunday. I think Walter missed one game. I don't know, 10, 11, 12 years or whatever. He missed one game. So the consistency is there. But even those guys on the list, only myself and Barry Sanders, guys with 25 plus touches, 2,500 touches or more, are the only backs on this list to have 4.6 yards per carry average. Yeah. Yeah. So, but that's my list. That's what it is.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
So for our
outstanding segment, by the way, the tier talk.
Yeah, I thought that was fire,
I like
especially with the great sitting on here rating running backs.
Top 10.
Yeah.
For our last segment, locker room talk. Give us a good old fashioned, like we got Whistlepick sitting here. We're sitting back. You're telling a bonfire story, whether it's on or off the field. And if it's something where you don't want to share identities, that's fine.
Wow.
But just tell us a good old fashioned locker room story that you tell the boys.
Small ears, I'm sitting back and excited.
I know, but
Over across the
don't
legs?
get too excited because, Will texted me probably 4 or 5 hours ago.
Yeah.
Okay,
And I was
already throwing me
somewhere-
on the bus.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That could be a segment under the bus.
Yeah. Under the bus. That's dope.
Yeah. Better than
I was
Bussin' With The Boys.
somewhere on Broadway, though, getting smashed. I had to go take a nap.
Because you wasn't texting back. I was like, man, hopefully you thought about it.
I had to go take a nap, so I didn't even have a chance to really think of a story. But man, you guys know it's so much shit that goes on. Man, I don't know what jumps out. I remember my brother and good friend would come in the huddle during the games. He was like, "Hey, Deuce, let's go, baby. We're gonna have a good game today. Let's go." And I would look at his eyes, and his eyes would be bloodshot and very. His eyes would be bloodshot, and I was like, "Okay, he's ready to go. He's hype."
Yeah.
I didn't know he was doing cocaine
Yeah.
before the game. I don't know if I should tell that story, but whatever. Yeah. I don't know. I do know that in 2008, and this isn't so much locker room talk, but in 2008, this is probably more so a story to help the young guys that go out that might feel that they have a sense of entitlement when they go party. Might have had 1 or 2 or 3 too many drinks. I remember being on South Beach in 2008. I hung out, just out, minding my business, had a good night, went to my car. This guy came over. "Hey, Fred, pleasure to meet you." My brother was like, "Man, you're just too friendly. Get your ass away from here. You're too friendly." The guy went back inside, told his security that we were threatened. We weren't threatening. And 30, 40 seconds later, 8 South Beach police pulled up, drawing tasers and guns. "Get your ass in front of the car." They kicked me. I had on some tight ass jeans. They keep spread them. I can't spread them no more. My jeans super tight. They slammed me on the hood of the car. And so they were like, "Hey," they put the dog in the car. And at the time, my wife, she hates dogs. She absolutely, to this day, not that she hates dogs, she doesn't like the way they smell.
Okay.
She doesn't even like how I smell. When I come from outside or in the house, you smell like outside, go take a shower.
Damn.
So her nose is crazy.
Like a dog's.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like a hound.
You ain't getting lucky unless you're showered up.
100%. 1,000%. So
waiting on the bed, he's got to come out of the shower. You clean?
Yeah.
All right,
so
come
the
get
cops
Put on the lotion.
Yeah.
they were looking for stuff. They let the dog go in the car. They didn't find anything. They got me. They threw me in back of the patrol car and took me down to the South Beach station. But the guy left the cuffs unlocked. So when I got down there, I'm there, and there was a lieutenant that was in there. He saw me coming. He was like, Freddie T? That ain't Freddie T. That ain't, come on. No, take the cuffs off of him. What the fuck are y'all doing? Take those cuffs off. So the guy who was in there, he was a guy who came to the team in Jacksonville that he didn't make the team, but he was the guy that I looked out for. You know, that's how I was as a veteran guy. I always rooted for anybody that came. Look, man, this is what you got to do.
Right.
Try to make the team. So he remembered that. So he's like, take these cuffs off of Freddie. I know whatever you guys are saying he did, he didn't do it. He's nothing like that.
You should have done
Take
something.
the cuffs off. They didn't even put me in the holding cell. Like, so he's like, you're not putting him in there, sit him on his bench. You're not putting him in there. This shit ain't right. Like, whatever's going on. So he was like, they took the cuffs off, and I'm rubbing my wrist like, what the? He's like, that's the trick that they do. For the cops to be nasty, you know, and try and sort of screw over you or whatever, you don't lock the cuffs because the more you move, the tighter they get.
Oh, really?
Right. So he was like, they did the old bullshit to you. He started laughing. I started laughing. It's like 4:30 in the morning. They let me go under my own recognizance or whatever.
Yeah.
They read a statement. I didn't know what it meant. I just wanted to get it. It was late. Now I was slightly inebriated. It was like, whatever. I drove, and my brother drove me 45 minutes home. And when I got home, it was 6 a.m. Just in time for the morning news to come on, the local morning news. And in that, Jacksonville Jaguars running back Fred Taylor was arrested tonight and charged with disorderly conduct on South Beach before I can even close my eyes to go to sleep.
Oh,
it was like Labor Day or something crazy. And I had to go back to Jacksonville. The team was like, what the fuck just happened? But it was 2008. It was prior to, I don't know if the commissioner had just,
Goodell?
I don't know if Roger had just taken over as the new commissioner then, but I know the rules weren't as strict because if I had that petty charge then, I would have gotten suspended for a few games.
Oh,
for that
damn.
season. But I didn't, right? I had to get in front of the team and apologize to the team for everything that went on. And my mom is a cop. She's retired now. She's a sheriff. She's like, look, you just got to be careful how you talk to these cops. You know, because you don't know what type of day they had or what's going on in their lives.
Right.
You can't curse them and this and that. So that's where the disorderly conduct came from. So that's not so much locker room talk.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's a
story, though.
Hopefully that's a story that can save some of these guys that get out there and they feel like I didn't do anything wrong, which is how I felt. But you can't say everything.
Right.
Because there are charges for everything. And you don't want to be one of those guys that, you know, when you wake up, you're on, Sports Center. And you're top story. So
mugshot.
Yeah. So that was me. So hopefully that'll help some of these guys. But it's a million other stories. Trust me. I got some shit. I just ain't. Yeah.
We'll have to have you on again.
We'll figure it out.
Tell those
I'm
stories.
always down, man.
Yeah.
Certainly down, for sure.
And it seems like Pivot's really just blowing up right now.
You guys
We're doing well.
Murder in the game.
We're definitely doing good, man. We're doing good. Channing is great. He's the wild card, obviously.
Oh, there's no question about it.
Then I would like to also say Ryan is the wild card. Ryan is just a pro.
Yeah.
He's so good at what he does,
wild
man.
card.
He does so much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he
Ryan
does do a lot, man. He's on a lot of shows.
Yeah, Ryan is so good, man, and what he does is effortless, and he's so good. I think, Ryan is he's going to be one of those guys that will eventually be, if he decides to, he can be the face of Sports Center or ESPN.
Talking about like a Stephen A.
Oh yeah.
Which that interview, by the way, was phenomenal.
Stephen A. did open up and show a good side.
He really did.
And you have people that talk about Stephen A. They call him coon and sellout and all.
Right.
Look,
that's easy and lazy.
I don't watch enough TV to kind of see everything that he says. But I do know the one thing that stood out for me in his interview, what he said was, in his 10 years there, he's done 30,000+ takes, and they're live.
Yeah.
And now you're in the moment where you're just, giving your opinion on things. Live. And that's what it is, his opinion. So I'm adult enough to understand you have an opinion, you, myself, these guys,
right?
We all have an opinion. And once it's out there, we have to live with it. And he's done a great job of doing that. They're more so hard on him about two people, really. Colin Kaepernick,
Yeah.
which he later came on and he vouched for, and then also Kyrie Irving. You know, and everybody has an opinion on what Kyrie's doing as a player.
He did a good
Super
job
controversial,
explaining
guys.
that. I thought he did a good job
Yeah,
explaining
but
that.
you look at people that, you know, they came on when we posted promos and said, hey, nah, I ain't watching the show because this guy's a sellout. He's a coon. He's corny. He's this, he's
And he
that.
keeps saying
But
that.
he's
He keeps
Stephen
saying
A.
the C-O-N. Is that a racist thing?
Yeah.
Hey, that's
Okay,
yeah.
good. I'm glad I didn't say it out loud.
Right, nah, but this is what they're saying.
Yeah.
Right? So, and that's why I repeat
this is more so like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but like what black people will say to black people. Right?
Right, 100%.
Like, it's not like it's
Yeah,
not a
yeah,
racial
so
thing
it's-
like
It's
that.
something you and I
Yeah.
should go outside.
Yeah, right. No, so
It's just nothing that we
right.
do.
So
say.
it's
Yeah.
more so in-house.
Like it's not that we want to
Yeah.
or not. It's just nothing that it's.
Yeah,
like,
I've never really
It's
heard
not
the
even,
phrase
it
before.
doesn't even really
Never
make a
remember the
lot
Titans.
of
I've heard it
You
once.
see us weirdly beating around this
Yeah.
like
Here we
stepping on
go.
eggshells
The-
thing.
oh, the
Right.
racist bush?
Yeah.
Right, but
That's
it
a
doesn't
tough
make
bush to
it
be
doesn't
around.
even really make a whole lot of sense, truthfully.
Mm.
And the one thing about me is I'm gonna speak to both sides,
Mhm.
right? When I see something, I'm gonna call it how it is. I prefer to be black and white. You know, I love transparency, and I think that's what Stephen A. is. Some people feel that Disney is, you know, pulling the strings,
Yeah.
you know, because they own ESPN or the network, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think he did a pretty solid job of showing a different side of himself, of explaining the Kyrie thing, of explaining the Colin Kaepernick thing. You know, we were grateful to have him on. He let us in his house, man. He bought us lunch. It was a great interview, in my opinion. So, but yeah, we're building. You know, we got a long way to go, man, but we're building and we're, you know.
Who's your
gonna
dream
be, Gonna be
guest?
dope.
They've already had it.
My dream guest is, dream guest? Oh, I see. Oh, I see.
I appreciate
Hey, we
that.
did numbers, though. We did good.
Yeah, it was
We-
awesome.
We did really good.
You guys are welcome.
Uh,
That was awesome to be a part
People
of.
are gonna say this is crazy, but I
That
like
was
to
a good episode. That
yeah.
was a good
I
episode.
like to get Donald Trump in the seat.
Really?
Yeah, man.
You're going after it since you saw the whole Nelk Boy thing, right?
Yeah, YouTube took it down. They had 6 million in a
They did.
day.
Thank
You know, not even just for the views or whatever. Just have a conversation. You know
What would you
I'm saying?
ask him? What's something that you'd want to ask him?
Do you like black people?
Ooh.
I mean,
I feel like that'd be a good little short on YouTube anyway. That probably
just let him talk about it. Just let him talk. See, that's what we do. We like to let our guests talk.
yeah.
You know, if there's controversy out there and people are looking at you this way and have an opinion, we want to bring you on so you can answer that.
Mm-hmm.
You can say what the hell you want to say,
Right.
but because we know that this is what's going on in the public, or the masses might think one way, or the majority of people might think this way, we want to ask you what's up with that and let
Right.
you explain it. You can tell a lie, you could like whatever it might be, but we're gonna ask that question.
You're gonna share your narrative.
Right. So
Do you think Donald Trump likes black people? Is that something from
You know
watching
what?
his 4 years of
'Cause that's
presidency?
something
I don't-
that's something you wouldn't say on because you guys are a platform that'll ask those simple questions and let them speak, and
Right,
you won't
right.
have much of a.
right, you know what?
yeah, it's a
so
good
so
question.
no, it's a great question. So you know what? For me, I think there's certain rhetoric out there that's been divisive, right? In its following,
Yeah.
that I don't think he dislikes black
Mhm.
across the board. I don't think that. I think that he was playing into his, you know, his following.
His demographic.
Right. But I don't think he dislikes black people. I think that he plays more so into his following because he's a politician. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, he has to do things to keep his camp, his base solid.
Right.
He's talking about, he was trying to get reelected too at the same time. But he said a lot of stuff that's very divisive, you know, in the eyes of, you know, a lot of people. And obviously I think that I have a lot of friends, white, black, other, whatever it might be. But I think when he got in office, those people who were not as vocal in certain subjects, you know, they sort of showed certain colors, right? And
Right.
started vocalizing certain things. Yet they're still my friends to this day.
Mhm.
We still have conversations.
Yeah.
I try and be an adult about things. So yeah, I don't think he hates black people per se. I don't think he dislikes black people. I think he's certainly playing into his camp and what he had to do to try to get reelected. I think he is a media and attention whore at the end of the day.
He knows how to play that game.
Exactly. He's a politician.
Because before
He was
before
never
he
a
was
politician,
running-
but he, look, to go on Twitter, I don't think any politician should be allowed.
Yeah.
If we're going to go and vote for these people, there's other ways to get our attention, maybe a website, all this other stuff. But if you're on Twitter, you're having fights, on Twitter, that ain't cool. Even when Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, stepped into office, he's a big, big Trump guy. He's a Republican. Florida's a heavy Republican state. I did not vote for DeSantis, right, initially. But the things he's doing in my state are pretty cool. They're good. They're solid. And he's trying to set himself up so he could potentially run for Senate and maybe at some point president. Will I vote for him or Republican at some point? I grew up in a household where I grew up in a household of 6 kids. We had to learn to share and get along, right? So from that, I developed a more of a democratic, mindset.
Yeah.
Sharing and get along. I think as I've gotten older, at heart, I'm more of a Democrat because I think that the system works best when we put into it, right? And I know a lot of people believe that from a taxation standpoint, this, that, other. I think that helps the system churns better when a Democrat is in office. But from a business standpoint, I'm more of a Republican mindset because I bust my ass for what I've earned, what I have. So I don't want the government to just take it all. But I do know that there are so many different tax loopholes and things that we can take advantage of as business people and people that have earned 7, 8 figures or whatever it is. We can take advantage of a lot of deductions. But I didn't come from a lot. So as much as I have, it's still more than what I've ever had.
Yeah.
So I don't really get into the whole, like, tax me 30% or 20%. That 10% ain't gonna kill me.
Right.
I feel like it's giving back in a sense. But I am lately I've been an independent.
Yeah.
I'm an independent. But yeah, I just wanted to make sense, man. Will I ever vote for a Republican president if his message is right? And if it's warranted, then yeah.
Yeah. The whole party thing's pretty difficult
It's stupid.
to stand on because
You're
if you
saying
Because you feel, I know, speaking for me, like, you feel weird saying any of these labels because you realize what people
but
can
we're
do
the
when they
United States of America, right?
we're actually a constitutional republic is what we
A
are.
constitutional republic, but what's the Pledge of Allegiance?
To the
push the
flag
flag.
of the United States of America
Indivisible.
and for the republic for which it stands. One nation.
Indivisible?
Yeah.
Well, we're 50 fucking states. What do you mean indivisible, right?
Yeah, it's a
Like-
big word for me.
Right. So every state has its own laws. And that's divided in itself, right? We have parties. That's divided. But
Yeah.
you said in the pledge, right? But we're divided. You say we can't be divided. That doesn't make any fucking sense to me. Why do we have to have parties?
America's such a large demographic, and I agree with you. I think parties are a difficult way to go because there's some things from the Democratic Party that I think I agree with that.
Right.
And there's things they do that I disagree with. Now, on the
Right.
Republican side, it goes the same way. There are things I like about the Republican Party, and there's things I don't like about the Republican Party.
Right.
So it's hard for me to find a world. People are going to be pissed about this. I've never voted.
Right.
And I thought about voting in this last election, ended up not doing it. I probably will in next one because of this last election and watching and knowing more and getting older. I'm gonna do that.
Right.
But it's tough to put labels on things.
Correct.
Because if I say to you, I'm a Democrat and you're a Republican,
Now we're looking at each other
we're
like,
looking at each other different. Oh,
You're on
this
opposite
that's
parts
where
of the
that's,
table.
that's the whole
you look at
thing.
me like this guy's a libtard. This guy thinks this. She thinks
Right.
that. It's like it's tough for me to draw a line in the sand with things.
Right.
Because people watch this show that are on both sides of the fence.
Correct.
My opinion really doesn't matter to give out to the world. No, but to give out to the world, like there's things that I will, if someone asks me a question, I'll answer it. I'm an open book that way. Right. But for me to go spout my opinions about stuff, to get mad on Twitter and be like, "This, it's not Joe Biden's doing this or Donald Trump's," it's not me. That's just not my vibe.
Right.
I think there needs to be. I don't know what there needs to be, but the whole blue and red it's a difficult thing for me to identify with because I've never liked living in a box.
Right. I just think that, that makes great sense. I don't like the whole party thing because we're divided straight out of the gate. Mm-hmm. It's simple. But I do know that when the Democrats are in office, from a investment standpoint, I do know what the big corporations do. I know they cut a lot of jobs. They try and say the numbers aren't adding up, and it pretty much gives you a key on different things you can invest.
Right.
And then vice versa.
Exactly.
Right? When the Republicans are in office. Mm-hmm. So, you take that and you take advantage of it. You live long enough, you'll be able to identify these things when you are investing. Mm-hmm. We got to live. It doesn't matter who's in office. At the very end of the day, we got to deal with the shit.
Right.
Right. But I just don't like the whole foundation of this country. Pretty much, it's telling us what we are and what we should be, but then it's contradicting that.
Yeah.
In a lot of sense.
There's a lot of manipulation for sure.
Everyone's commenting on everyone's
commenting and people were picking a side, and that was the biggest challenge for us in the past 2 years, not only the pandemic, but politics, and what was going on, in our everyday lives. So yeah, I think we've gotten past that. Man, I just want to live and be happy, man, and enjoy my kids and my family, build companies, make a whole lot of fucking money, man. And that's all the fuck I want to do.
That sounds like a good deal. You know who else is about to have a kid?
That's right.
No.
Oh,
congrats.
You know what?
Baby, watch.
When?
Baby, watch. Baby, watch.
Make it happen.
Baby, watch.
Baby,
watch. Baby, watch.
Let's go.
What you expecting, Will?
It's a baby girl, man.
Baby girl?
Due date is Sunday.
Sunday.
Yes. You're listening now. It's Wednesday. The due date was this past Sunday. I might be a dad as you guys are watching, or we might be late in the game. Who knows, bro?
That's outstanding,
That's
Willie.
pretty dope. Yeah, I pointed at Taylor because he couldn't get the nanny in.
No.
Yeah.
Well, what?
Yeah. Why we had to do this late episode.
That's right.
Because your nanny's been out of town.
So people don't see all of that, man. You take that into account, man.
What's that?
Like they don't always get that part, right? Like they wouldn't think, the big, strong, I'll knock your ass out, Taylor Lewan gotta not do his show because he ain't got a nanny.
That's true.
Yeah,
I'm a dad, man. I'm a dad.
That makes
you know what I'm saying? I try to be the good dad.
Family first.
No question about
Family
it.
first. I appreciate you guys, man.
Yeah, this has been fun, bro. I appreciate
my ass off. I put the jacket on. It was a big mistake.
I hope you get your dream guest. I do think you guys are able to.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. I think Trump will come on.
We'll definitely figure it out.
I can't wait for you to ask that question either. I'll be fucking dialed in.
Can I say this really quick?
Absolutely.
Yeah. My cousin, Milan Bolden, he just recently graduated, played ball at Georgetown. He is the first female GA in college football at the University of Michigan. She'll be coaching quarterbacks this year. She'll be coaching quarterbacks this year.
Dude, that's huge.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Pretty dope.
Yeah, that's
dope.
awesome, man.
Michigan,
baby cousin.
innovative, progressive.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hey, you guys enjoyed this episode? Subscribe to The Boys.
That's right.
You gotta subscribe to The Boys. Over 70% of our audience is not subscribed,
which is
so
okay.
we gotta bridge the gap, man. So subscribe. Appreciate you guys. Big hugs, tiny kisses. Fred Taylor, the greatest Jacksonville Jaguar of all time. Mm-hmm. Also subscribe to his podcast, The Pivot. They're crushing it.
That's right.
Yeah, man. Be a fucking wolf.
That's right.